Hello and welcome everyone to the second, technically first episode of the Lawn Cast, a quote unquote podcast series where I just start talking about stuff. But this week, once again, continue with the Orie theme that last episode brought, but this time going to be something entirely different. Well, I guess not entirely different, still a tier list, but yeah, this time around we're going to be making an Orie synergy tier list video, but this time it won't be by myself. It'll be with my best bud over here, the one and only Masive. How you doing, Masive?
Hello, hello. I just woke up.
Yes.
I'm in the best state of mind to make a tier list.
Absolutely. If you're not like half asleep while making a tier list, are you really making a tier list? Yeah.
Clearly, I have some hot takes for you.
I will be excited to know that, once again, this is going to be a relatively unscripted, like, kind of podcast type of video. I just prefer doing these unscripted for the most part because I think it's more fun that way. But obviously, I've had some experience in the past making tier lists. I have a tier list in the main core that's been pinned for like almost a year now. I can't believe it's been that long, but yeah, this was intended to kind of be the first episode of the lawn cast, but decided to make an episode 0 first. But yeah, this was Mesa's idea, so if there's too much cap in this video, you can just blame him.
Hell yeah. And we all know BB Tech players love their tier lists.
Absolutely, yeah, but hopefully it'll be enjoyable. But enough dilly-dallying for now. Let's go on to the actual tier list. Of course, we will be having the good old classic S through D style tier list. And before we get started, I should explain what each tier actually means. S tier. You can notice there are two S tier. This is kind of a last minute addition by Mesa's request, but in general, the S tiers are Orie's best teams that accentuate Orie's strength and greatly boost your game plan, while the other character still benefits a good amount for them. So basically, like, really good dual synergistic teams. Probably Orie's strong. Well, it are Orie's strongest, not probably Orie's strongest teams. The reason why we have two S tiers, we have the dry, quote unquote dry S tier. That's for the boring good tier teams. But then we got the spicy S tier for the more interesting teams. I You want to add anything onto that, Massive, since that's your tier idea?
Yeah, we're trying to find out what pairs best with potatoes. So you got to have like dry chicken or spicy beef or something.
Yeah, true. But yeah, going on to the A tier. The A tier teams are kind of going to fit into two categories. It's going to be like teams where both characters provide things that significantly help each other. But the team itself isn't necessarily as good as the teams in A tier. Like, still good dual synergistic teams, but obviously like a bit outclassed by the ones above. Or B characters that support Orie extremely well, but not necessarily supported too well by Orie themselves. Characters are like, they can use Orie like well enough. They might get just the bare minimum of their need, or a bit more than that, but generally are just strong Orie-centric teams. While B tier are going to be split into kind of like three categories. Teams where it's just like are pretty strong for Orie, but the other character isn't provided with any of the necessary tools that they need to function. Basically, it's just like it's too skewed in Orie's favor. Unlike the A tier, where it's just like, yeah, the supporting character does get at least a bit of what they want, but not too much. Whereas in opposed to B tier, where it's just like, yeah, they get jacked because Orie is definitely one of those characters where she can she doesn't provide, I should say, a lot of tools for other characters or another.
She's not really a well-rounded like support.
Yeah, exactly. Mostly just because she lacks a proper anti-air, but we'll get to that specifically when we get to that. The next category for B tiers, just solid overall teams. They're just decent. They're okay. They function. They're not super outstanding or anything. There's nothing of note here, but they're just still solid. Or and the last specification for this tier is like characters that actually like really appreciate Orie as an assist characters, but Orie doesn't get that much help like at all really. Those are fairly rare, all things considered, but I still wanted to make that specification because there is a specific character I think of when I when I talk about that. And C tier is just kind of like unimpressive teams. Both characters don't really give each other what they want. It's usable, but it's overall not really that great or good. It's a functional team, but it's very lacking. And B tier are like teams that provide Orie with at least strong assist kits, but don't benefit much from having Orie in general, or like those are characters super reliant on having good partners to be able to thrive. These are teams where it's just like they're not like amazing. The other character doesn't give like an amazing support kit or anything, but it's still like good, solid overall. But the other character is kind of suffering because they have Orie as a partner. And D tier, they're just the bad teams. No one gets what they want really. They have a lot of very glaring issues and everything. And yeah, that's what each tier means. The tiering will be the tiers will be ordered within themselves, and remember that this is more of a synergy list, a not necessarily a team strength list. But yeah, since you are my guest, Mesa, we should get going on. Well, I should also say we're gonna be splitting. We're gonna be organizing them into, or we're gonna be talking about them kind of organized by each franchise, just like I said, for organization's sake. But what franchise do you want to start out with, Massive?
And just to kind of lead us in, what do you think the orders of the tier, like the tiers, do you think will be like heavily in the top tier or heavily lower tier? Like, where do you think most of them will be at?
If I go based off what my previous list looked like, obviously the S and D tier will be kind of not as filled as much as the between tiers, but for the most part, I think A, B, and C tier should have the same amount of characters. At least based off how I made it. Since I have a partner with me, obviously the tiers are gonna look a little bit differently. But I can actually.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll get started up with a Blaze Blue.
Yeah. We will be starting off with Azrael then.
Azrael.
All right.
This guy. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know a whole lot about Azrael, and I'd be surprised if you knew a whole lot about Azrael. His assists, they're okay. He's kind of got like Orie's assist kit. I forget what his 4P is. It's Growler, right?
Yeah, that's Growler. I've
that's not terribly useful. Yeah, Growler's not terribly useful. Or well, his assist kit's generally not that useful for Orie. Like, it's a solid assist kit, but it doesn't really give Orie what she needs. And I'm pretty sure it's the same for Azrael. He can make use of Orie's 4P and some funny gimmicks, but I don't think it's a terribly high tier team.
Yeah, I pretty much completely agree with you. It's a very awkward team, and I don't know a lot about Azrael, to be fair. But yeah, Azrael's completely lacking in the lockdown assists category. That lockdown assists are like kind of something that Orie like really wants to have. And I mean, Azrael just completely lacks that in general. Space Control too, like his 6P is actually like okay for that, but I think Orie in general definitely prefers a projectile in order to kind of approach. And it's kind of just the same problem with like Azrael too, or like Azrael benefiting Orie as well. You do have the lockdown with 4P, and you can start some funny shenanigans with that. I don't.
He can definitely utilize that 4P.
Yeah.
The funny thing about this team is though neither character has an anti-air assist in this team.
Oh,
which is kind of a downside.
Yeah, definitely. And well, I don't think lack of anti-air assist is necessarily as crippling as it is for other characters, for Orie specifically, because her 2B is a very good button. It's certainly not helping, and I generally think that Orie really likes having air space control just because we use JA a lot. I don't know if you would necessarily agree with that, but
no, never JA. Always JA.
Yeah, always JA. So like having an air anti-air or airspace control tool is a very strong thing to have, and Azrael just completely lacks that.
Not necessary, but really nice to have, especially when you're in the air so much.
Definitely. Yeah, it's just like Azrael also himself kind of needs a very specific toolkit to be able to function, or else he's like kind of a bad character. It's like very awkward to play him without like proper neutral assists or a way to set up his
funny mix-ups.
Yeah, like Adachi, for example, is basically like what Azrael wants with an assist kit, and as well as having Bizio and Orie. I mean, she has EX thrust, I guess, which is nice. But that I feel like that's maybe a bit too awkward to set up, and it's not as nearly as good as Azrael would want. And I mean, Azrael doesn't help getting sandwiches because he just does already with his dashes. So yeah,
he does bring one thing to the table that Orie needs, and that's damage. He brings plenty of damage, that's for sure. But I don't know if that's enough to like take him out of the lower tiers. It's definitely not enough. But where do you think he would land, in the DC?
Definitely, I'm feeling like a good solid D tier for him.
Good start off to the tier list.
Yeah, good start. Just because like the team, no one's getting really anything they want. There's some stuff here and there, but like Azrael's just one of those characters where like he needs a very, very specific assist kit in order to be able to function properly, and Orie is definitely not giving him that. So yeah, you okay with D tier?
Maybe towards the higher end of D tier, because there's some worse teams out there for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think like, well, I mean, there's no one else in D tier right now, but yeah, I'll definitely
when we get there.
when we get there. All right, yeah, D tier for Azrael. All right, Celica. This is
you're a Celica player. You could tell me all about this team.
Yes, and how I feel about this team, and I think how everyone feels about this team, it's just okay. It's fine.
It's just okay.
It works. It has stuff going for it, but it's never been anything particularly outstanding. And I mean, on the Orie side of things, 5P is a very nice big anti-air space control button. That's very useful.
Funny.
Yeah, it's a very funny big 5P button, relatively fast for how big it is. And 6P is like an okay approach tool. For Orie, it just sends out a slow, big laser projectile. A little bit awkward to convert off of, but like nonetheless, 236C plus 6P works, so it's like, yeah, it's fine, right? Yeah.
And that's Celica's 2 assists.
Yeah, we don't talk about 4P. 4P doesn't exist. and to be fair, I think 5P is good enough as an assist to just like not say that this team is particularly that, like, it's not CT worthy. I don't think so.
Yeah, 4P is the assist you call and you're like, whoops.
But 5P is actually like very incredibly good assist, honestly. And on the or in the Celica side of things, 4P is nice, I guess. I think Celica would prefer having an anti-air assist because her anti-air is not bad. I don't think so, at least in my opinion. It's just very inconsistent due to the head invul, but it's very nice for pressure. 5P, I think, does its job with JC as like kind of a just assist you use with 6P or with JC. Like 5P or 6P JC, it works. It's not great or anything, but it functions. And like, yeah, it's what do you think about it? Because I feel like the team is just basically okay. Like both characters get like good, decent tools for each other, but it's nothing outstanding. It's like
it's definitely just into the okay tier. It was the first team I checked out when 2.0 came out because the funny 6P, I wanted to use that with Orie's EX Thrust. My brain has got one brain cell in there. I want to use EX Thrust. So that was the first team I checked out. And it's just okay. It's kind of lacking, mostly because Celica's lacking. If Celica were like a really good character, it might be a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
But Celica's just kind of average. Do you want to talk about 4P DP?
Okay, well, I mean, 4DP is a meme, and I use it a lot with this team. It is good Oki. I don't necessarily think 4DP usage is a hail mark of great synergy. But
please use 4P DP more.
I might just have to get an episode with Tomoe talking about how good 4DP is.
DP Assist podcast.
just because he invented it, but yeah, 4DP is like is actually a pretty good Oki with this team. It's funny. It's good because Celica Oki in and of itself is already just kind of sus. She doesn't have good consistent safe jump, so just having access to 4DP is surprisingly good value for her. But yeah, besides that, it's yeah, 4P. I mean, it's still good for pretty much any character that can get consistent meaty lockdown. But besides that, yeah, we're feeling like it's just okay. Like, you know,
pretty solid baseline for a mid team.
Yeah,
just being mid.
Yeah, I definitely completely agree with that. Yeah, just solid B tier. Team just like works pretty okay. All right, next up is S. Pudding Girl. How do you feel about S?
S was like originally the good Orie team. S is kind of fallen off a cliff with nerfs, but it's still a really solid team. Like, it gives Orie, like, just from neutral standpoint, it gives Orie everything she kind of wants. Because that big assist, the big projectile assist, helps her traverse the neutral. And from Orie's side, it's okay. I don't think it's anything special.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I definitely feel like S has better partners per se, but I do think that S at least benefits a good amount from Orie. Just because I think 4P is good lockdown to get her like mixes going. 5P JB for mixes is solid enough. It's definitely like...
Oh yeah, it definitely used to be a lot better when S had her old 6P with the gapped projectiles. That would be really good right about now with Orie getting the jump over with the Persona move. It would be a lot better now, but she has the new 6P, which is a bigger screen control, but a little slower, and it doesn't have 2 hits that are gapped. It just reminds me of the past. I'm Boomer.
Yeah, I'm not a pre like 2.0 player. Like, I came into the game 2.0, so I never got to experience like...
Yeah, it's hard for me to separate it from its old form, Orie S.
Yeah, the heyday of the team, but like overall, I do think the team is borderline A tier. I could see it going into B tier just because I think the team...
Oh, S is in a bad spot right now. That's probably why.
Yeah, like, it could... It definitely was better in the past from what I've seen, but I still think the team functions well overall.
Still a functioning team.
Mm-hmm, it's still good. I don't know. Let's see. I'm trying to justify an A tier placement. Low A tier, obviously, not high A tier. There's definitely teams that are better.
It's on borderline. It's either low A or high B.
Yeah, for sure. Just because like the projectile is still really nice for space control. S has like okay lockdown with 4P. 5P is kind of like a standard strike assist. Nothing too amazing. S's side, yeah, like...
Does have some nice instant overheads from S's side.
Yeah, 5P is good for that. 4P is just good lockdown in general. S does have projectiles to help Orie get in for like active swap stuff with like 6P projectiles, which is nice. Probably definitely better than what I think Celica has. I think I'm gonna go with my original placement and say that it is definitely on the lower end of A tier. I think there are enough tools there, and I think the team functions overall pretty well, as opposed to just being kind of like decent middle of the road. I definitely think
if the A tier list gets too cluttered, we can always knock her down.
Yeah, definitely. That's how I feel about it. All right.
The Haku Man.
A Haku Man.
The funny high damage guy.
Funny high damage. The team is a team. That's how I feel about it. I don't think tentatively, I will say I do believe that this team is very solidly a C tier team, but I want to hear your thoughts about it first.
I don't really have too much thoughts on it. It has EX thrust plus assist. I'll give it that. The 5P, Hakumen's 5P, just kind of a run of the mill 5P. It hits them. It doesn't do much lockdown. It's gotten decent blocks done. 6P helps Orie navigate the neutral. Honestly, Hakumen's all 6P. His 4P's kind of donk. As for Orie on Hakumen's side, I'm not a Hakumen expert, but it's a fine assist in general. Hakumen doesn't really need a projectile. He can use it, but Orie doesn't provide it. And the 4P, Hakumen with 4P, I don't know if he can really set it up, but he can definitely use it. He's not going to get much off of it, I don't think. But he has setup for it, and it's when you're an Orie ball, you're going to hold a mix. And Hakumen can do that, and he has really fast mix too. It's an okay team. I think Orie's lack of projectile assist doesn't really hurt him as much because he can just kind of cut through it and hop around projectile zoning and navigate the neutral. What do you say?
Yeah, I think the team is just pretty underwhelming. Like Orie doesn't really get everything she wants. Like 6P is like actually like a pretty good assist, but it's not like necessarily I think a thing that Orie would love to have.
It's definitely threatening when it's out there, but it's not gonna like get you through neutral.
Definitely. It's fine. It's okay what it does, and like you said, the other two assists are very underwhelming. I'm feeling a C tier. I'm just feeling like it's a very.
Is it really that much better than Azrael?
I mean, I think the reason I put Azrael in D tier is because Azrael himself really needs a specific assist kit in order to function. Hakumen is a lot more self-sufficient, I think.
I guess he could kind of just run through the neutral on his own, as opposed to Azrael, who kind of just walks and maybe dashes in, but without an assist, he's kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Hakumen can navigate it without it, or I see what you mean.
Yeah. Like, I don't necessarily think that, the stuff Azrael provides to Orie is better than what Hakumen provides, because it's definitely just kind of underwhelming on both sides. But yeah, Azrael's is a character that needs a specific assist kit in order to function. Well, Hakumen doesn't, and I think that definitely inches Hakumen into the C tier. It's definitely pretty close. This is like a low to mid range C tier placement, but don't think he quite breaks D. Just because like team just
because Hakumen can kind of do stuff on his own if he needs to.
Yeah.
Azrael's kind of a sitting duck without an assist.
Yeah, 100%. And all right.
Hazama, funny snake guy.
Funny snake man. I know there's some person in existence that thinks
I've definitely seen this team around a bit. More than one person has played it and done well at tournaments with it. I don't see it. I know SKD. I actually had a tweet from him earlier. He was like, Hazama's pretty good with Orie, and I'm like, why? And he sent something. I don't remember what it was, but it was like 2 years ago. I don't see it. What do you think about it? I don't see this team being good.
I think it's actively pretty bad. I also think Hazama is just one of those characters that really needs a specific assist kit in order to really shine. I know he can kind of like gimmick people to death just because like he's a really awkward character to have to fight. But if you do know how to, if the person you're fighting does know how to really navigate around Hazama, like yeah, you're really gonna feel not having great assist package. And Hazama himself has a very
awkward assists. His assists are what the hell is going on with his assist? His 4P is actually pretty good. His 5P, it's like worse than your average 5P, but it's kind of just your average 5P. And his 6P, what the hell's going on with the 6P?
His 6P is super weird.
It's like weird in a way that like you can use it. It has its uses, but it's not your standard assist.
Yeah, and it does provide like nice air control for Orie, which can be nice, but it covers a really weird angle. The hitbox on it is really awkward if I remember correctly. Let me bring it up.
It's just up. It hits up. It's in Orie's space. Yeah. I don't think Orie needs it because it's already in Orie's space.
Yeah, it can be nice for helping you cover that thing, but like Look at this.
That picture doesn't really show what it is. It's like all the way up.
Yeah, like the chain reaches all the way up, but the hitbox itself is like kind of.
It's a funky assist.
It definitely is.
And this whole team in general is just funky.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good team.
Yeah, for sure. Like Hawes, I think needs like some. Actually, definitely needs airspace control or something in order to function. Orie is definitely not providing any of that. Just because, I mean, he is an airborne character.
And because I see who's coming up, we have to talk about it. This team can have an unblockable.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. This team can have an unblockable 4P.
I don't know how good it is because that scaling is horrible and it's going into 4P scaling, which is even worse.
Yeah.
But it is there.
Yeah, and I don't even know if it's like DP burst safety
or how. Yeah, I don't know how set-upable it is.
But it is there, and it is a thing. But I think it's not good enough to break it at a D tier. How do you feel about that?
I think it's worse than Azrael.
I feel exactly the same because at least what Azrael has. They both suffer from the same problem. They just need specific assists in order to function. But at least Azrael
has a gimmick. I don't know what Hazama's doing with that team.
Yeah, like, and I don't even think like 4P into the corner with Azrael. Also, I think is a lot scarier compared to Hazama, and I think that's like the only saving grace both teams have is just 4P. And also, Azrael does a hell of a lot more damage compared to Hazama.
Yeah, Hazama's damage is like, he gets 7k off his average combo? With a good starter.
Yeah.
Azrael he just knocks out damage. He's damaged the character.
Yeah, definitely. Just that, I think
Okay, Lon, you want to skip over this one? Go straight to Izayoi?
Okay, because we have to give Orie Tager.
No.
We have to give Orie Tager something, but we will save it for later. maybe the last Blaze Blue character we talk about because it's
no. You understand? You have to understand. Tager's already in his tier.
Oh, true.
We just have to get all the other characters out of there.
True. True. All right. Yeah. Izayoi.
Okay, Izayoi. Very good team. What say you?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. We've seen from Shige, Japanese player, that this is definitely a very strong team. Well, let's get Orie out of the way. Like, Izayoi's assist is actually pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, for what Orie wants. 5P is probably the least appealing assist, standard strike assist. But 6P, very solid lockdown assist, as well as being a good projectile assist. It's multifaceted in that sense. It can be good for helping Orie approach. It
hits you on block, Orie gets in. End of story.
Mm-hmm. And also it being a medium speed projectile too, very good for that, helping Orie traverse neutral. 4P is a very strong anti-air assist, can definitely help Orie air to air and stuff. Just being a strong assist in general for catching people in the air if you just wanted them out of your airspace.
Yeah, it's fast.
Yeah, very, very strong. Very strong assist kit. Overall, like what Orie gets is very solid, but where I think the team really shines as being
Orie support.
Yeah, a Orie enabler. An Izayoi.
Orie is the enabler.
Yeah, Orie is the enabler, but as an Izayoi enabler, 4P with freaking Izayoi mixes, that's spooky.
Yeah, Izayoi already gets a safe jump off pretty much all of her combos, like a safe jump that catches all techs. And in the corner, you could set up a 4P 100% of the time, safe from DPs and any mashing, and you could get plenty of mix-ups with the time the 4P allows. Like, you could swap sides and get an overhead before the 4P procs. All that stuff, it just goes crazy. It's like a really crazy setup. And it's not like that's all the team is. Like, Orie can get Izayoi in pretty easily with EX thrust. Izayoi's mid-screen safe jump Like you can go do the what's the Izayoi safe jump where she just dashes forward with the JB and has the Orie 6P behind, and that can sometimes be a cross up depending on like if you stop the jump earlier or stuff. It's hard to explain,
Yeah,
but it's just really solid Orie support.
Yeah, like definitely Easy always getting a very strong enabling assist package in order to like kind of get her game plan going anywhere in the screen. And nice thing about like Orie 6P and this is true for a lot of teams that have fuzzies. Orie 6P is really good at setting up fuzzies, and Izayoi
Can fuzzy.
Yeah, like she can
definitely fuzzy
very well. She can fuzzy off her safe jump, like anywhere on the screen. Like she can do JA jump cancel. I think, JC and with
JC
6P that's a fuzzy, and it's like you can just cross combo for that. But I mean that's still an incredibly strong tool to have. It's just like the amount of mix you can get with Izayoi point is really insane, and Izayoi herself, I don't think necessarily doesn't mind having a no anti-air assist because her anti-air, while it is not tied to a button, it's tied to an input, is a very strong anti-air. So having no anti-air 4P, I don't think hurt as much as it would other characters.
Yeah, that's the thing. This thing, like historically, this team, it was still good. Like Sheikah's been playing it forever, but this team used to be not as good. But since Izayoi's buffs, like she had problems with no anti-air in the past. Like the Orie not having an anti-air was a big problem in the past. And Izayoi's damage was not good, so the team had those problems going on. But ever since the Izayoi buffs, those problems were just gone. Izayoi's solo anti-airs now, they get 7k. It's not just a one hit into a safe jump anymore. And Izayoi has damage now with meter extensions, and Orie doesn't really hog meter, so Izayoi provides the damage in the team now too. But is it enough to put her in S tier? What do you think?
Tentatively, no, because I think there are much, much better characters to put in S tier. But I will say, I do believe that this is within Orie's, at the very least, top 10 teams.
I think it's borderline S tier.
Like
if we don't have like a lot of S tiers, you might as well just toss her in the bottom of S tier.
Yeah, but I think for now, definitely top of A tier. Like, I think the first time I made this list, I put her in like top 6 or top 7 Orie teams. Very, very strong team, just because of how good it is at enabling Izayoi, and Orie gets a very solid, good assist package along with it. Is there anything else you think you could add with the team? I think the only thing it's lacking is like corner lockdown, because 6P is decent lockdown, but it's like maybe not as good as some other characters, but I think it's still good enough. But anything else you want to add?
No, I think we covered everything.
Alright, cool.
Jin Kisaragi. My boy, I used to play this team like 1.0. It's not the best team. Jin used to be in a better spot too. Like, I don't know what to say about it other than it's just... I don't know what to say about Jin. It's an okay team. Jin's 6P. It's got presence on the screen. It's a little slow and it's kind of avoidable. But it does have presence. And the 5P... It's an awkward 5P, I'll say that. The 4P is definitely Jin's shining assist here. As for the Orie side, like Orie's assist with Jin, I don't think they really help terribly, but they're a solid assists. The 4P setups you can get off of a JC, the Enderon Jin's combos, it's okay. It's just a really, can't say much about the team. It's solid enough.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. The team's just okay.
It's just an okay team, but
yeah, like I don't know.
Two mid characters in a mid team.
Yeah, I don't know what more I can expand on it. Really, like, yeah, 6P's kind of nice. It can be a nice pseudo lockdown tool as well as a screen presence tool. Bit slow, it does its job okay, and Jin don't think he gets everything he wants from a character from Orie.
That's the thing. He doesn't really
Yeah.
he doesn't like want much either.
Yeah, like Jin, despite him being like, like a pretty decent solid character, like he's relatively self-sufficient. So like Orie having like just an okay assist package, it's like it doesn't hurt him per se, but it certainly doesn't bolster him, I think, as much as he'd like. I don't think he uses 4P good as well as other characters just because his mix is just like
Yeah, like he can
yeah,
set it up, but he doesn't do much with it.
yeah, it's just like standard mix you get off pretty much any character with 4P as long as you can set it up. Uh yeah, it's just like a very basic, okay, solid team. Um
It's like the definition of a B tier team.
Yeah, it's on the same line of I think Celica, where it's just like two characters that give each other tools that are okay for each other but aren't particularly outstanding. Like the team is decent. Like
it's just there's not much to say about it. I think it's worse than Celica because Celica at least offers something special to the team.
yeah,
Like Jin doesn't even give EX thrust stuff. Like you can't even get if it hits EX thrust with this plus assist. If it hits, it does nothing. You can't really get much of it.
mm-hmm,
If it doesn't hit, then I guess you get a little lockdown.
mm-hmm.
It's just kind of, but like Celica's EX thrust is good. Game is good.
Yeah, for sure. And I do think, despite the fact that Celica doesn't have the assist, the 5P is a bit more useful to Orie compared to Jin's 4P, because Jin's 4P is a bit more of a defensive 4P, which is still good, but I think
It's a damn good 4P.
yeah. But Celica's, I think, has a bit more offensive and neutral presence than rather as a defensive one, which I think is better for Orie overall, because, like I said earlier, her 2B is already good at kind of being a reactionary anti-air assist, so don't really need the 4P as much. Yeah, I agree. I think Jin is a bit worse than Celica. They're not too far away from each other, but Celica's a bit better.
Okay, the Kate.
The Kate. Alright.
I think this team is damn good.
Mm-hmm. Team's definitely very, very good, very solid. Well, you know, you're brothers with a person that plays Jubei. I barely understand Jubei. So
Well, you see, that's the problem. Since my brother plays this team, I don't play this team.
I see. Well, I look. If anything, just tell me what Kyo thinks about it.
Unpush blockable mix. That's like all this team has. Not all this team has, but this is like all this team is about. You set up the bongos with Orie 4P. You cannot block that mix. You cannot push block that mix. You're eating that cat mix. And Jubei's mix is good. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you set up the bongo, you get the 4P. They can't push block Jubei out because he's the one doing the block. And you can't push block Orie's 4P. You should know that already. So you're just going to have to eat the Jubei mix. And Jubei has that high-low game going already. And he gets that mix every time. And he probably gets a second mix if they block the first one. So that's like the core of this team. Just Orie setting up a 4P with a bongo Oki. And if you're not even all the way in the corner, it'll push you into the corner. Don't worry. If it's like mid-screen, it's just a really solid team mid-screen. Orie gets a lot off of Jubei's assist. That 6P ball is like the most annoying projectile assist in the game, I would say. Because it's so slow and it takes up like half the screen at the bottom part of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And Jubei's 5P and 4P aren't bad. Like mid-screen, it's an okay team. In the corner, you're dead. You're just dead.
Mm-hmm.
Jubei can corner steal too with that 4P. It just gets a little crazy.
Oh god. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not a Jubei expert or anything, but yeah, I agree. The team's incredibly strong.
It's like, isn't it the highest placing at Evo team for Orie? I think it actually might be.
It's either Jubei or 9, I think. What did Megasei got like top 8 at
Megasu got like top 4
Oh, top 4, yeah.
at Evo.
Yeah, which is definitely I think it was in 1.5 though. But I mean the team hasn't really changed that much. I think the
If
team,
anything, it's gotten better because Jubei's
yeah
gotten better,
yeah very
and Orie
strong.
hasn't really changed.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with all those points. I don't necessarily think it's as good as Izayoi because Izayoi definitely has the better assist package overall. I do agree that 6P is a strong, annoying assist package or assist to have within Jubei's package. 4P, good solid lockdown. Surprisingly enough, it has like freaking 35 frames or something. Uh, Good enough to kind of set up a lot of Orie things. Um,
And don't get me wrong, this is not an Orie team. This is a Jubei team.
Yeah, like definitely like a Jubei team. Um,
Like it's another one of the case of Orie players don't want to play it because it's not an Orie team. Well, that same thing with Izayoi. It's like it's an Izayoi team. Orie players don't want to play it.
yeah, but still, unlike some of the, it's just a
But it's a really good team.
yeah, like I think like some other characters that suffer from the it's not an Ori 18 problem. I still think that I still think that Jubei provides a good enough assist package for Ori to at least put it in, like it's obviously A tier.
No, Orie definitely loves that Jubei 6P.
Yeah.
That 6P is kind of godlike.
Yeah, like there's still like good tools being presented to Ori here, but it is very much a Jubei centric team. Um,
There's a lot of teams like that. Orie's got a good assist kit, guys.
yeah, it's just a bit awkward because some characters really need anti-air assists, and Ori does not have that. But yeah, I think A tier below Izayoi sounds good.
If it were me, I'd have it in S tier, but I agree, it's fine.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely up there.
I'd also have Izayoi in S tier, to be fair.
Yeah, that's also true. I I tend to be a bit less liberal about who I place in S tier personally, but like one tiering difference when like I'm saying like it's high A tier is
Yeah,
yeah, it's not actually that that big of a difference I think, but yeah, let's get on to my. Now you actually play this team a lot, so you have
no, I don't. No, I don't.
Oh, true. In all seriousness, like, yeah, you definitely play this team a lot more than me. So, what are your thoughts about it?
Where am I? As for Orie's side with Mai's assist, it's just a solid assist pool. Mai's 5P, kind of godlike. Mai's 5P, not godlike. They block that, you get an EX thrust, unblockable to like 2K. It's kind of good. It's okay. You get a sandwich otherwise. It's just a good assist in neutral. My 6B, or you can actually utilize this. It's one of my worst assists. Any my player will tell you that. But Orie can actually have a good use for it. In crossing over with the Orie Persona 214C. What is it? 214 AC? There you go. It'll cross over, and the first part will hit same side. The second part will cross up. So it's actually okay for once in my. As for it has the same thing as Izayoi and Jubei, as in it is definitely not an Orie team. I don't think I'd say that. It's a my team.
Mm-hmm.
My gets a lot of Orie's assists. 4P, standard 4P usage. It's nothing special, honestly. 5P. Orie's 5P is really good. Lockdown, just standard 5P. My gets a lot off Orie's 6P. That's like all my wants from that. The plus frames from Orie 6P for my really good. Lets her set up a lot of stuff. But overall, if I'm being honest, this team is not that good. I'd put it around right below Celica.
Right below Celica, damn.
Yeah, it's a fun team, but what do you think about it?
I actually think that this team is pretty good. I put.
I'm a down player. Don't worry.
I mean, obviously, I don't have as much experience with it as Masive does because.
Yeah, but I'm also a down player.
Yeah. It. I don't want it's I feel like it's around the same area. I think I would put S, um, which I guess it
I
means
mean, I
it's
literally picked Mai up because she was a replacement for S.
yeah. I heavily value 5P a lot. I genuinely think it's an incredibly good assist.
Oh, it's a stupid assist.
It's a physical bullet assist basically. It goes full screen, very good at sniping out, really good for approaches. Um, yeah, I mean that's very good assist package to have.
It automatically crosses up if you jump over it.
Mm-hmm. 6P, like you said, has that niche use case for crossing up, and it is a projectile assist. I'm not gonna say it's good; it's definitely not. But
it's you can't really use it as projectile assist. I'll be honest.
It sometimes works, but 5P is your projectile assist. Let's be honest.
You either use it for its niche of being a gapped projectile, or you don't use it.
Yeah. 4P is like a pretty good anti-air assist. Covers a good amount of space. Good defensively. Good. Okay defensively. Yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's the same area as S, where it's just like the team is just like functions solidly overall, where both characters get like good enough assist package in order to get their game plans going. Like you said, 5P, 4P is good for setting up mixes with Mai, and I do think that Mai does need that lockdown because her mix by without it is kind of mediocre.
The funny what mix?
Yeah, exactly. Like she definitely relies on like delayed over or delay air dash mix, empty jump low type mix steals, which can be set.
There's some funny things you could do with Orie's 4P where you could go like above the screen and place it off screen so they can't see it because you're way up high on Mai. And then there's a 4P and you don't know which side it's on. So there's something niche there, but that's like going way deep for the team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think it's worth mentioning because it's kind of niche anyways.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's necessarily a part of the team. And yeah, like good lockdown for Mai, which I think she needs. I believe
6P is definitely the core of this team. Orie 6P with Mai. Because Mai's JC is plus a bazillion. Don't worry about the numbers. It's plus enough that you don't want to mash on it. And it gives enough time for Orie's 6P to land and also add plus frames. So you just get the free plus frames from half screen no matter what.
I see. Also, I think Mai gets fuzzies too, right?
Yeah, it gets plenty of fuzzies.
Yeah.
You can fuzzy off JC. The JC plus frames I was talking about.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so there's good stuff there. I just think that Mai gets a good enough package overall from Orie, and it's the same for the other way around, where I think Orie gets good enough as this action for Mai, where it's just like, yeah, I mean the team is definitely, I think, in my opinion, like the same place where we put S, where it's just like borderline B tier, but I would say she's definitely better than Celica in my opinion.
Okay, for you, would you say it's above S?
No, I don't think I'd say it's above S.
Okay, and I've already said I think it's below Celica. So if you want to put it like right between them in the A tier, that's fine by me.
I think since you think it's below Celica, I'll put it in like above Celica in B tier, but not
kind of like a middle ground.
Yeah, like
and she's already on the borderline of dropping down eventually.
Yeah, definitely. So I think that's a good place to put her. I definitely do think that the team is good. Solid, but maybe not A tier worthy. We'll see how the tier list looks later. All right, Makoto.
Funnily enough, I actually think this team is pretty damn good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, give me your thoughts out of it because I think it's bad. I think it's really bad.
Okay, don't get me wrong, it's pretty bad, but it's got the funny.
Okay, yeah. Just talk about it.
See, I treat Makoto kind of like a thrust character because I do funnies. So you can actually do Makoto's punch with Orie's punch, with Orie's thrust.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't lie, I was going to put this team really low, and I'm still going to put it really low. But
You're just trying to think. You're just trying to think of the neat
I'm
stuff.
trying to salvage it. I've done a lot of meme things with this team. You could, I guess I can mention it just because I'm doing the funnies anyways. You could do super into super with Orie's 4P pretty easily.
Is that good though?
No, it's not good. The team does have an EX thrust game. It's there. It's an okay enough team. I don't think it's bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, what do you think about the team?
I do think the team is bad, but they're definitely worse characters. So
Is it bad because the team is bad, or is it bad because Makoto's bad?
It's bad because I think Makoto's assist kits are very
funny. I actually think Makoto's assist are okay. It's Makoto in general.
They're not. I don't think. Like in recent times, I've definitely come to realize Makoto's assist kit is definitely like probably not like within the bottom.
I'd say the better version of this team is Mitsuru and Makoto, and I play that team actively.
Yeah, like I don't think Makoto's assists are horrible. I also don't think Makoto is like the worst character, and like she definitely needs an assist package to get going, but she's not nearly, I think, as terrible alone as.
Okay, let's kind of just run over the assists real quick. So,
let me get them up real quick.
Orie's, from an Orie standpoint, Makoto 6P, it's probably your best assist. It's not really that good for Orie, but it's an okay assist with plus frames. It's kind of like Orie's own 6P. And Makoto's 5P, a pretty solid assist. It's just like a pressure assist. It's not the best pressure assist out there. Orie kind of wants those, but it's not the best one. 4P... 4P's funny. You can use it with Orie. I don't know if it's good enough to mention as a useful assist.
It's pretty slow. It's 26 frames.
That's the good thing. So you could do the same thing you could do with you cross over with it. Like, I don't think it's good enough. It's Makoto's worst assist. There's a slight niche usage and jumping over it with a 214 AC. But that's it. It's hella plus. It's
also pretty easy to convert off too if you get the hit, which is nice. But yeah, I just look at Makoto's assist.
Why does it say it's illegal? Why does it say this move's illegal? I don't know.
Hold on. There's proof.
Proof. Okay. What's illegal?
The fact that it can freaking loop into itself. Yeah.
What?
It's hilarious. I don't know why this is a thing, but you can do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see. All right. Put it in S tier.
Yeah, obviously. But yeah, it's very underwhelming. It's not horrible, mind you, just because it's just like it can catch people off guard and it covers an okay amount of space. And like I said.
Okay, where do you put the team? I see it around Azrael tier.
Azrael tier?
Above Azrael, or is Azrael the quintessential D tier?
Yeah.
Is he like the highest D tier?
That's a good question.
Or is Makoto a higher D tier? Or is she a lower C tier?
This team is so weird to think about because Makoto is like such a weird character.
Makoto's a lot like Ragna.
Yeah, just a lot worse.
Yeah, like a worse Ragna. Just think of it that way. And how would you put Ragna Orie? Just as kind of little spoilers.
Probably C tier.
Yeah. So maybe save the C tier for Ragna.
Yeah.
Higher D tier? Fine by me.
Higher D tier. I think it is better than Azrael, just because I think Makoto's a bit more self-functioning, and I think she can use Orie's assist kit a bit better than Azrael can, but like don't get us wrong, this team's bad. Yeah. Anything else you want to add on?
Funny super into super with Orie 4P. It's funny. It's not good enough to make the team good, but it's funny.
The memes. Alright. Alright, Kurogane.
I don't think this team's good.
Do you not think this team is good?
Naoto's 4P is good, but
I
I don't think the team's good.
think this team is decent.
Okay, tell me why.
Well, I mean, let's get the elephant out of the room.
4P.
4P is good enough for me to put in B tier straight up.
It's kind of a good assist.
It's godlike. It's disgustingly good, especially for a character like Orie that really likes the airspace. Come on. It's disgusting. Fast, hits the heavens, hits the ground too sometimes. Like decent block stun. It's pretty good.
Okay, how do you think about navigating the neutral with Naoto and Orie assists?
Okay, that's definitely where I'm like a bit iffy about. Because like I mean Naoto himself I
think this team dies to any projectile.
Like yeah, definitely for sure. But like Naoto himself is like pretty like okay self-sufficient character. Obviously he shines with a partner and he can struggle against characters with good projectiles. But I've seen enough Caterate to play like you play your cards right. You can definitely get some stuff going with this character. So it's not as pain as it could be for a character that just lacks a projectile and has relatively stubby buttons outside of his like JB. So like I don't think he's necessarily struggling with Orie, but he's definitely not benefiting too much, at least in terms of the neutral game. Yeah, I definitely agree that the team is a bit pain for neutral, and it's a reason why like I can't really put this team probably
any higher than like low B tier is the max I'm going here.
Low B tier? I think it's
B tier.
I think it's mid B tier, just because I think Kurogane, with Orie in the corner is like honestly.
It has some mix up on a knockdown.
Yeah, like.
And then on the Orie side, you just run around with Naoto 4P. You don't do anything else.
Yeah.
You could okay. So this team could kind of set up a sandwich anywhere with Naoto 6P, but that's every Naoto team.
Yeah.
I don't know how useful that is for Orie, but it's there.
It's good. It's good, solid assist package. Honestly, like 6P, just because it has that niche, is just very solid.
But this team will lose to like if it sees his owner, you swap teams.
Yeah.
You have to have a backup team.
Right. It's like I just feel like if you're fighting someone who doesn't have a lot of projectiles and zoning, like it's decently good and strong, just because I think the Naoto corner lockdown is good. The 4P is disgusting on Naoto's side for Orie. What else? Like
Naoto 5P's not bad.
Yeah,
talk about that.
Naoto 5P is very solid. It goes decently far. It's a standard strike assist, which are not.
How's the EX thrust game?
Good question. I actually don't know. I think
5P will let you convert off a hit.
Yeah, you
have to definitely have the cross combo for a mix though.
Yeah. At the very least, I think Naoto has enough active swap time on his moves where you can, if you see it hit, you can active swap into Naoto. I think at EX Thrush 6P works, just straight up though.
But you don't get to cross it because he's crossing up anyways.
Yeah.
He's funny.
So hey, Future Lawn here. It turns out with Kurogane, 6P does allow you to get a conversion off EX Thrust. It is a little bit tight, but it is possible to do it. Ignore the fact that I dropped that combo, please. Where it gets a little bit awkward is when you actually make them block the EX Thrust. As you can see, it does ruin your sandwich. But there's a simple solution. Just to react to them blocking, activate cross combo early, and there's your sandwich. So yeah. Back to the main video. It's good and bad. I don't know. I do think this team is like solid mid B tier.
Is it Gen tier?
I think it's above Gen because I mean Naoto gets a way better. Actually, I think it might be above Celica. Because
is it above my?
Maybe not above my.
I think it's a lot low. I think it's C tier.
I don't think it's C tier. I really don't.
Damn, that Naoto 4P really carrying hard.
I think that 4P is disgusting. It's like
I think it's high C tier.
I cannot agree with you on that one. I really can't, because I've seen Lotad play this team. Whenever I see it, it's like, yeah, this team is actually pretty decent. Like, I think the one thing I've neglected to mention is in the corner the OS you can do with Phantom Pain works really well with with the Orie Assist Kit, because it's either 6P, which is good lockdown, or 4P, which is, I mean, disgusting lockdown, no matter what way you tech. And yeah, that's very good corner pressure in general. I mean, Orie 4P for setting up Naoto mix is good too. I think you can set it up pretty consistently. But it's the neutral game, I think, where it's really struggling for Naoto specifically. But I think the Orie neutral game is like fine enough. Yeah, I don't really see it being in C tier, because some other characters I imagined in C tier definitely have it a lot worse compared to Naoto. Like, a lot worse.
All right, throw it there.
Yeah, okay.
Let's find some of those C tiers.
I will put it like above Jin, just because I think we have a disagreement on where we should place it. Because I think it's above, like, probably above Celica, and maybe above mine, but you think it's just solidly C tier. So I think that's a good compromise, right? Like,
that's fine, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's put something in S tier already. Get 9 up there.
9? You think 9 is S tier? I won't disagree with that, but necessarily, I think it's high A, like maybe top 5, 6. But let me hear your thoughts about it.
I don't have a lot of thoughts. I just think it's a really good team. Like, 9 is one of those characters where I don't know enough about her to really say much.
You just know she's stupid.
I know she's a dumb character. I know there's some really dumb setups with this team. Like, I've labbed the setups. This team it's so dumb in the corner. 9 is dumb in the corner, just alone. I think I've talked myself out of S tier, actually. I think 9's just stupid.
9 is definitely a very stupid character indeed, and yeah. I mean,
and the assists for Orie, they're okay. Nothing to write home about.
I think they're actually fairly good.
Like 5P, good lockdown, standard lockdown assist. 4P, it's an okay 4P. 6P, it's Crimson Raider, but as an assist.
6P is a Crusader Vein.
Yeah. Crimson Raider is 5P. Thanks.
Yeah, Crimson Raider is 5P. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just think that, like,
I talked myself out of S tier. It's just 9 being stupid.
Yeah, like 9 with Orie, I think, is strong. Because, like, I mean, 9 really doesn't need a lot out of a partner. I'll be honest. Like, a lot.
Yeah, it's just 9 playing solo.
Yeah, like, what 9 really wants is stuff to make her win more, and I think Orie provides that. 4P.
But 4P is dumb. Yeah.
4P is dumb. 5P is really good at converting off for instant overhead.
Like, that's the thing about the Orie's 4P with the unblockable. It'll, like, characters who can get out of the unblockable, it makes it so they can't.
Yeah, I think
they just can't get out of the unblockable anymore.
With the exception of Kotsky and Tank, who are
yeah, the funnies.
Yeah. Like, yeah, characters that can't get out of the unblockable very well, like, they're gonna get hit. I mean, even then, if you can just set it up, you don't even need the unblockable, just have a 4P up, you start getting the freaking stupid...
Yeah, you could just get the unblockable off of any, like, knockdown. Because,
Yeah.
you knock them down in the 4P and just set up the unblockable from there.
Yeah, that too. And I mean, even if you can't, 9 with lockdown is stupid because she can steal corner and stuff. So those are like easy left-right mixes even without the seed. Yeah, good for converting off for instant overhead too. 5P is good for that as well. Team's damage overall is pretty decent.
Thanks, 9.
Thanks, 9. Yeah, 9. I just think 9 wins more off Orie. Like Orie's assist packages aren't necessarily that great for neutral, but like 9 doesn't really need help in neutral.
Yeah, so like you could sum this team up as 9 doesn't need anything.
Yeah.
At all, and Orie just helps her win more.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely how I feel about it. Like, it's just like,
And
Yeah.
for Orie's side, it's solid. You can kind of play on Orie solo and help 9 heal and maybe throw a 6 PF every once in a while.
Yeah, like Scarlet Vein is a very good assist package just because it tracks, um, makes you safe from her. You are 4P, very solid anti-air. 5P is okay, good, decent lockdown. Yeah, I mean, I just think the team is just on the pure merits of the fact that Ore really helps Nine win more.
And
It's
9 is dumb already.
yeah, like
I don't know if it's above those two though. Yeah.
yeah. I definitely think it's like strong, like top maybe top 10. Um, good. It's a very good team, undeniably.
All right, let's move on to Hien.
Yeah, Hien. All right, Hien. I know
Hien, I don't know how you make it work, but I don't think this team's that good.
he doesn't think it's that good either. To be fair.
All right, Hien agrees. Okay.
Yeah.
Hien's God for making this team work.
He literally is just got like, and to be fair, I don't think this team is like bottom of the barrel bad. It's not good.
It's just like both characters want something different, right?
Yeah. I think 6P for Noel's side is actually like a pretty funny assist, and it does some things for Orie just because it's like gapped on block, I think, and it's a pretty okay neutral assist. But Noel gets some funny lockdown, I think, with Orie assist like 4P, 5P, and good lockdown.
Can Noel set up 4P on block? Orie has 4P on block. Like, can she cover it while it's setting up?
I think so. Because
Okay, that's pretty good.
She
like
has
the JB, is it? Noel's JB. I don't know actually. I don't know anything about Noel.
I'm just talking about. I think she can consistently set it up on a safe jump.
I mean, just in neutral.
Oh, in
like,
neutral.
Think Chie JC.
Oh, like that.
I don't think so, huh?
Probably not. Probably not as good. Yeah.
Off a safe jump, yeah.
Yeah, like the team is very underwhelming for sure. Hien's just a very solid player, so he makes it work.
Honest footsies, right?
Honest footsies and Noel shenanigans. Yeah, this is not a lot of I can talk about with this team because it's
just like the two characters doing their things with occasional assists.
Yeah. And it's
I guess you could kind of cross up with Orie's 4P.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about it. I'm trying.
If I were the tier on it, I'd put it in like the lower end of C tier, like below Hakumen.
I agree completely. The team just like it's very underwhelming. Both characters get like some of the tools they want, but not really. Lack of anti-air assist, I think, for Noel kind of sucks because Noel's anti-air is horrible. But I traded off with like the lockdown. I think being good in the corner with 4P. The damage of the team is actually incredibly good though, which is a saving grace. I mean, it's the same with Hakumen, but
funny loop.
Overall, low C tier. I don't think necessarily Noel is one of those characters that like she's a bad character. She's a really bad character, but
it's another one of those cases like if the character were better, it might be better team.
Yeah, like if she was a bit more self-sufficient, yeah.
Kind of like the next one, I think.
Yeah, like new. We'll definitely get to new, but yeah, I think we've summed up our thoughts about the team. It's just like, it's very underwhelming. Good damage. I know Hien has like TODs with the team, but yeah, new.
Yeah, like I was saying, character is like this team could be so much better if New was better. Like it gives Orie a lot of what she wants, but the team just lacks damage.
Mm-hmm. Team lacks damage, and I think team really lacks a lot of what New likes. Her zoning is a bit awkward. It has a lot of dead zones.
Like Orie doesn't provide supplemental zoning, but if New were good enough, it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, there's definitely some other characters in this game with very solid zoning. Cough Hilda, where like where you can definitely notice that it's not as much of a problem. Where it is a big problem, I think, for New, the fact that Orie doesn't have lockdown tools to help her really help her zone out. Like 4P, yeah, that's not doing anything for you. It's not even. I don't even think Nu can really use it that much because she prefers being like mobile.
Oh, news to get from news I fought, they like to get in your face after a while.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's just because news zoning isn't that good, but after a while, they just get in your face.
Yeah, like new
and
zoning.
At that point, Orie could definitely use the 4P could definitely be useful for Nu who's in your face.
Yeah, my thing is, it's just like Nu, the way she does it, she's very mobile and the screen moves around a lot, and I don't know if 4P can help with that because I feel like you might be out of range when you're kind of moving around and like everything, and it might be a bit hard to set that up. Just because like Nu wants to get it into your face through her dashes, and like I don't think 4P really helps bolster that. And it's definitely
after the knockdown it does, but that's every team, honestly.
Yeah, I mean every team is gonna benefit from 4P from knockdown. When you're just trying to move around, I don't think it's helping. I don't think 6 and 5P are helping that much either. So in that sense, it's kind of weak. No really assist to help Nu, but yeah, on the Orie side of things, I don't think we've expanded too much about it. Like, yeah, there's a lot there. 5P.
It's some solid assist for Orie neutral.
Mm-hmm. Like 5P, really good, solid bullet assist, helps her get in, and 6P is like into the same
screen presence, the assist.
Yeah, so much screen presence, very solid lockdown even too. Really helps Orie get in. 236P plus 6P. I believe is a conversion on block or on hit too, and a sandwich as well. Very good, 2 incredibly good assists for
and then 4P.
We don't talk
News
about
4P. It's an okay anti nowadays. It used to be way worse.
Yeah, but it's definitely nothing appealing for Orie. I just think 5P and 6P are very good tools for her.
I was just talking in general. It's not like for Orie specifically. I don't think you're even going to get a chance to use the 4P.
Yeah, that's definitely how I feel about it. Gravity Well is such a cool assist, but yeah, it's just 5P and 6P that are really good for Orie.
It makes it easier if you do Thanatos loops,
I guess.
Hey, silver lining.
Silver lining there, but yeah, it's a pretty good Orie team. I know Doravis has made it work.
It would either be like higher C tier or lower B tier.
I think C tier just because I think Nu doesn't get anything out of it.
Like either higher C tier above Hakumen or lower B tier below Jin. Either one's fine.
I definitely think high C tier for me personally.
Like if it knew a better character, it'd be higher. That's my take.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I think if Orie didn't
there's a lot of cases of this character actually just the team is okay, but this character's just so dumb that it's a good team.
Yeah, like it's there is definitely a matter of their self-sufficiency, which I don't think Nu really has with Orie. Or like.
And speaking of bad characters, you want to segue to the next one?
All right, Platinum.
I was talking about Tager. Okay.
Look, I thought we were skipping Tager until the end.
No. All right, Platinum.
All right. Platinum is an interesting case because she's also, I think, one of those characters that really needs a specific assist package to work, but her assists are just so good.
Her assists are so good, except when you get the wrong one.
Yeah. There could definitely be some times where you get trolled, but I think overall, most of the options are actually overall a net benefit to you.
I've seen plenty of Platinum in my day. I don't think this character's as bad as people say. Like, she's definitely not good.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think she's bottom of the barrel character.
Yeah, I think she's not bottom 5. I don't think so. There's definitely characters in bottom 5. I think Platinum's okay. She works. She has some decent tools, good tools.
You just have to get ready to get trolled by an assist and lose a match off it.
Yeah, but overall, as a team, it's kind of just Platinum having good assists, really good assists, I think.
I don't think this team has synergy, to be clear. There's no synergy here.
Yeah, the team is very
I guess you could set up You set up the little ghost thing she sits on, while also setting up an Orie 4P, and I go for high-low there
Yeah, like that's
on
okay.
knockdown. That's something.
That is certainly something. Um, yeah. I guess we'll talk about plat assists. Why I think they're good. Like all options are good. 4Ps are really good anti-air assists, as well as like being good defensive assists, as well as having the follow up too to set up some like left right mixes or just being like okay good like pretty good lockdown on all things considered. 6P, I think all versions of 6P are good for neutral. Halo specifically, you
The
get
Halo's dumb.
The Halo is freaking stupid. If you get the Halo, you're golden.
You're winning neutral for the next until that assist flies off the screen.
Uh-huh. And the other two assists, the bomb and the missile, are still like good solid assists for covering in neutral. 5P is okay. Standard strike assist is definitely the appealing one. But yeah, Plat's assists are good, and I think they help Orie a good amount. It's just like I don't know what the hell Plat's getting out of the package outside of like 4P, maybe 5P to help convert off for JC. But besides that, I don't think Plat
doesn't
really
have a use for the 6P to my knowledge. Like
Yeah.
maybe you do a mommy circular into it. I don't know.
Maybe there's definitely better assist to help her approach.
Oh yeah. The team is like, what tier do we have for the team? The characters are all right, but the team has no synergy. What's the tier for that? You tell me.
I'd probably put it in C tier. Just because like, I mean, there's not really a lot of synergy there. It's just Plat's assist being Plat's assist being good, but Plat not getting much out of it. So I think I'd put it like the same area I'd put New, honestly.
Above Hawkman?
Yeah, I think above Hawkman. I definitely think
All right.
Plat's assists are way better than Hawkman's assists. Like, way better.
Oh, this team's fun to talk about.
Rachel Orie?
Yeah.
All right.
It's like a theory team.
Yeah.
It's definitely a theory team. It's hard to put into practice, and honestly, the neutral's kind of ass.
Well,
But you can get some really, really fun mix-ups going with Rachel with that team.
Yeah.
But Rachel doesn't need help with that, so that's why I don't think the team's that good because of that. Like, Rachel doesn't need help mixing. She's got all the lockdown and stuff in her kit alone. So everything Orie would provide for Rachel already provides for herself, pretty much. It's a fun team to mess around with, though.
Yeah. Rachel's like one of those characters where I think her best teams offer Rachel something specific, but her herself is actually a relatively self-sufficient character.
Yeah, she wants something to like kind of be annoying and neutral, as the Vatista team would show you. Just something to help her be even more annoying and neutral. But she's fine on her own, and what Orie offers is just kind of like supplemental.
Like, even though I don't think Rachel needs lockdown per se to function, she definitely appreciates it a lot just because, like, you can add so many layers of mix, and Orie 4P with Rachel mix is just like...
Yeah, instead of getting 4 overheads by yourself, you get 10.
Yeah. It's just like... It might be a bit overkill, but it is nice to have if you do...
And then you scale your damage even harder because Orie is 4P.
Yeah,
but then you do it again, so it's okay.
Ritual damage is already kind of bad, so making it worse, it's not help, but I don't think it hurts that much. But like,
yeah, you just do it 3 more times. They won't block it the 4th time.
Yeah, and I think 5P is like okay enough to help with lockdown, but like 4P is definitely I think the star of lockdown, which is like we've been saying is a bit maybe too supplementary for what you need, but it is an option, and I think that is good. I think where the team is really like really nice is I think Rachel's assist package, I think being incredibly good. That 4P is disgusting. Really fast assists.
Funny 4P.
Yeah, hits literally a heavens. I think it has literally infinite vertical range. Very good for controlling the airspace where Orie likes to be for JA stuff, and just being good assists in general.
And the 5P is pretty good. The 6P, it sets stuff up, I guess.
Yeah, the 6P is like it's definitely a decent projectile assist. I think it can help Orie approach, but I think the thing really helping Orie approach is 4P just because of how stupid of an assist that is. And like you said, 5P is a decent enough assist, decent lockdown, decent neutral coverage, pretty easy to convert off to. It's like, yeah, Rachel provides a very, very good assist package for Orie.
I think it could go in the B tier. I don't know where in the B tier.
I agree with B tier, 100%. Just because I think Rachel wants something more.
Like Rachel wants someone to help her just be annoying as hell.
Yeah, and
Orie is not really helping her be annoying as hell. Orie is just helping Rachel mix you even more, and Rachel already mixes you enough. If you ever played versus a Rachel, you know.
Yeah, like I don't.
Because I guess if they're blocking the 4th overhead, you could take Orie to make them block 6 more.
Just in case you need it, but yeah, I don't think Rachel like is suffering too much with Orie, so definitely I think it's B tier, and Rachel's assist kit is strong enough to like significantly benefit Orie, but I don't think the team is A tier worthy at all. So,
yeah, I think Jin's getting pushed down a little bit, and I think rightfully so.
Yeah, definitely. Above Kurogane.
Jin was definitely towards the end of B tier, if not C tier.
Yeah, I don't think the team is that strong, or Jin, I should say, but
Okay, Ragna,
Ragna,
my buddy, SoCal's favorite, the golden boy of SoCal.
Yep.
This team is like 2 characters that want to get in and want an assist to help them get in, but both of them don't get that in this team.
Mm-hmm.
They both want some kind of projectile or something to help them get in, and Orie is not providing that for Ragna, and Ragna's not giving that for Orie. It's the team has some sauce, Ragna's side sauce, but this team is like the definition of 2 characters that want something else but don't get it from the partner. It's just solid, but it dies to projectiles, kind of like the Naoto team.
Yeah, definitely. This team is very much underwhelming. I think lacking in a good amount of places. No projectile assist for Orie, no lockdown assist for Orie. And you can say the exact same thing about Ragna. The only thing Ragna gets out of the deal is, 4P. He really likes having lockdown in the corner, and like.
Oh yeah, he gets a safe jump that covers all text in the corner, and you could call a meterless Orie 4P in that. That's basically the sauce I was talking about.
Yeah.
And this team just like loops you to death in that situation if you don't burst. Because there's no way you're blocking the mix in that orb. Maybe, I guess, if the Ragna decides he's going to go for 3 Gauntlet Hades in a row and you block all of them.
Yeah, probably not, but yeah, I agree.
But that's pretty much all the team has going for it.
Yeah, there's really not a lot to talk about with.
It's pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, with Orie Ragna. It's just like 2 characters that like get tools that are okay for each other. Like both assists are like fine. Like 6P is at least good for like some air cover.
Like at the very least, Ragna gives the damage that Orie kind of wants in a partner.
Yeah.
If you get the hit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Susano'o. That's a good team.
That is definitely a good team. All right.
But how good?
Definitely pretty good. Well, I mean, we'll talk about what Susan provides.
Susan's kit is just an all-rounder. It's got a projectile assist that's super fast, combos into itself on cross combo, gets you in. The 5Ps, a nice lockdown assist. If it hits, it gives you a nice confirmed chance. Lots of time. And the 4P is like Naoto's 4P, but it doesn't hit as far. It's just a big 4P.
Mm-hmm. Like
he just got a good all-rounder assist kit.
Susano'o's assist package is definitely incredibly good, especially for Orie. All assists are helping. 5P standard strike assist, yada yada yada. There's a lot of just standard strike assists that are just like shrug for.
Oh, let's talk about this 5P. Oh, it's the same 5P as always.
Yeah, it's just like strike assist.
Okay. That's what Tager has.
Like yeah, Tager has that. But yeah, despite there being no traditional lockdown assist for Susano'o, no traditional lockdown, or Susano'o does not have a traditional lockdown assist. God, word is hard. He does have Grand Viper, and this team does set up unblockables relatively easily. I mean, it's Susano'o. Yeah, 2-1-4A unblockables, and at the very least, if you don't want to go for a lockable, that's a great lockdown move. So Susano'o provides it for that, helps Orie get in and like start getting her pressure going. But Yeah, on the Susanoo side of things, I know people say Susanoo neutral is suffering, but like I don't really think
I
that.
don't see it when I'm fighting Susanoo.
Yeah,
I'll
like
say that. I don't
his
see it.
his JB is a stupid button. All he really needs is JB, and like JB plus 5B is going to be like nice for Susanoo to convert off of. Um,
I don't see a use for Orie 6P in this team. I'll say that.
yeah, or A6B is gonna be just like yeah, just throw it out whenever if you want a long range
The
fast
neutral.
assist. Yeah.
And we already talked about Orie's 4P. Good for lockdown corner on everybody. And you can get unblockables with this team.
Yeah, yeah. Like God Press and Grand Viper unblockables is like, yeah, that's pretty silly. And even if you can't set that up properly, it's Orie 4P. You're gonna get the schmixes anyways. And yeah, not to mention, Susanoo definitely crapping out the damage.
Yeah, he does do the damage.
Yeah.
Is it enough to push him into S tier though?
Definitely. I don't think not. I definitely don't think so. The team is very solid, very good overall. It's A tier worthy for sure. I don't think it's as good as 9, but it's definitely better than S.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, like yeah, Susanoo very good support centric while also being very solid on point. Both characters get a good amount of things from each other, and yeah, I very very good team, very good team. All right, well, Mass, it's time.
All right, now just change the tier list name.
Okay, yeah.
Change the BB to F.
Tiger.
There we go. The proper tier list. All right, put Tiger in C tier. He's got unblockables, Lon.
He has unblockables, but what else does he have?
He has 5P.
Yeah, I guess 5P.
Like I was saying about earlier, he has the standard 5P everyone has.
He has the standard 5P. Okay, Tiger is also one of the characters that really needs a specific assist package order function because he just sucks. He just sucks.
But you could do Wedge and then throw it into the Orie 4P. Is that not tech?
Look, it's tech in the same way as Azrael dashes are tech with Orie 4P. It's not that
tech.
great.
And if you don't get the grab, it's punishable on both characters.
Oh hell no. This team just sucks.
Yeah, it goes in the Tiger tier.
It actually is like probably Orie's worst team. It's just like Orie gets absolutely nothing. I mean the team.
What, you don't like Sparkbolt neutral?
Yeah, Sparkbolt, one of the worst assists in the game. I don't know if it. Funnily enough, I don't even though like 2360 assist benefits from slower assist. I don't even think they get a conversion off it.
No, they just fall.
Yeah, it's
you have to use 4P. 6P doesn't work. They just fall.
Bruh.
That's right. You have to use EX thrust and then 4P. But you 4P before that, so it doesn't go behind that. So you're pressing like 3 directions at once.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge bruh. Like literally, like unironically, the best thing about this team is their unblockables. That's it. And like
yeah, if you can get in a situation to do it ever.
Yeah, you have to win neutral with Tiger to do that. With Orie,
I know some pretty good Tiger players. They actually win neutral. I'm bad.
Yeah, they spark bolt and then they get hit.
True.
That's it. You just have to rely on that. And Orie is definitely not helping you win neutral with Tiger, like at all.
Tiger. Just think about the neutral. You could do Tiger 2B and Orie 6P.
Yeah,
is that not neutral?
That sure is neutral. Is it good neutral?
And then you get DP'd. I mean, what? Who said that?
Yeah, who said? God, this team sucks. Nothing. There is nothing provided for either character here at all. It's just like, man.
Okay, but if you do get the hit, you could loop 2B and Orie 6P and do damage.
Yeah.
But you could do that with other characters too.
We're coping. God, no lockdown for Orie, new neutral coverage for Tiger. God, this Team's horrible.
Clearly S tier.
Clearly a spicy S tier team. All right.
Just like Aegis.
Yeah, we're getting down to the Persona characters finally. All right.
Aegis. This team is one of those teams that every Orie player talks about as being kind of godlike if you can get the mix-up. But that's if you can get the mix-up. It's like a super mix-up team. But the neutral is just god-awful. It's suffering. It's funny when you get the mix-up, though.
Yeah, I just realized I wasn't playing my music the entire time.
That's okay.
But, yeah. Team Aegis is just one of those characters that like really needs a specific assist package in order to work. And to be fair, when she has that assist package, this character's disgusting.
Are you talking about Liz Aegis or Vatista Aegis?
Yeah, like those teams.
Not Orie Aegis.
Orie Aegis is not one of those teams that enable Aegis very well. Like this team is horrible.
The neutral is awful, but when you get in there, it's so sweet.
It's just like, oh.
But getting in there is the problem.
Getting in there sucks, and it's hard for both characters because Aegis' assist kit is just terrible. There's nothing of value there. 6P.
But getting the mix-up is so sweet, but it's still not a good team.
Yeah, it's.
You could literally get like the Aegis mix-up and the EX thrust. There you go, right there. Now play Orie in that team.
Yeah.
Play Orie. There you go.
Yeah. And then suddenly Orie is just like, how do I get in?
Orie is like, what? What do you want me to do here?
Yeah. I'm suffering. Gets no projectile, no lockdown.
Hey, Aegis has a projectile assist. Come on.
Oh, yeah, true. It just sucks.
Yeah, mortars are not covering anything.
Yeah, it's about as bad as my 6P. Probably worse though.
What are you doing with that 6P on any team?
Nothing. Absolutely.
You're not. I've never seen it. They called it an accident.
Oh man, there is nothing here. It's a borderline D tier team, but like
the mix-up's so sweet though.
It's just like and the damage is really good just because 5P is really good scaling. Like, it's like I think we can both agree on borderline D tier, but it's almost a C tier team. Barely though, barely C tier. I
was gonna value it a little higher and put it borderline C tier.
I'll agree with that. Like borderline, like right here behind Noel.
Yeah, like if the team has enough sauce and enough damage that if you do get the knockdowns and you do get the hits somehow, you're gonna snowball your way to victory. You have enough damage there, but you just have to get there. You have to get through the neutral.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the neutral's not fun on either side.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with low C tier, like borderline. It's a
you could snowball. It's a snowballing team. You have to get there first.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a perfect place to put her.
If you are looking for a team and you want to suffer in neutral, but you want that sweet mix, this is your team.
Yeah, just play any mediocre to bad Aegis team. That's how it'll feel.
And there's a lot of them. Don't worry.
Aegis is just like really needs a specific character, but I think unlike the other characters in the lower tiers, like that snowball is a genuine threat. All right, Akihiko.
Pretty good. Yeah. Punchy plus Orie 6P Gobert. That is all I have to add to this conversation.
I feel like it's a genuinely generally very underwhelming team.
I don't think so. I think this team's actually pretty damn good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Like, okay, I'm thinking of Orie as an assist because I generally do that, and as an assist, it gives Akihiko a lot of what he wants. Now, from Orie's point of view, if you're like thinking from Orie's point of view, this team sucks. Like, you get the standard 5P with Lockdown. That's it. That's all you get from Akihiko here.
Yeah. Like, 6
But if you're thinking from Akihiko's point of view, he gets big damage combos. Orie kind of wants those. He gets the big damage combos. He gets the neutral skip thrust. He gets the Orie 4P. He gets a lot of what he wants. It's definitely Akihiko's team, which is why you'll see Akihiko players playing it and not Orie players playing it. Hachi.
Mm-hmm.
But it depends on how much you want to skew it. It's one-sided team.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. Aki is also one of those characters that doesn't particularly need a specific to function. He's relatively self-sufficient.
He needs something to back up his thrust, and Orie offers that.
Yeah, there's
or his punchy thrust, whatever you want to call it. It's a thrust.
Yeah, there's definitely that. But yeah, Aki 6P or Orie has a fringe case where you're playing against characters with projectiles and you want to get in, and 6P can kind of help with that because it low profiles. But besides that, Orie's side is definitely lacking quite a bit.
It's suffering on the Orie side.
Yeah, like. I can see the strength for Aki for sure.
And for Orie, at the very least, you have like that silver lining on a dark cloud. Be like, but Akihiko offers so much damage, and Orie doesn't have any of that.
Yeah, the team will murder you for sure. I think this team can get like consistent like TODs with the right hit. I don't know. Do you think Akihiko benefits enough from Orie?
I am not an Akihiko player.
Okay. Because that's where I'm like a bit like iffy. Because I definitely feel like Akihiko has a lot stronger of choices when it comes to assist kits. Hell, Mitsuru is a stronger ghost.
Mitsuru's right there. Don't talk about that. Don't talk about Mitsuru here.
Yeah, don't talk.
We're Orie players. We don't talk about Mitsuru. In fact, take Mitsuru and put her like off the tier list right now.
Yeah. I can actually remove her.
Okay. If I were to give it a tier, I would put it either like higher end of C tier or lower end of B tier.
Yeah,
you decide on like breaking there, I guess. Where do you put it there?
I don't think if Akihiko benefited a lot from Orie, like a good amount, unironically the same way with Mitsuru, somehow that team works. I put it in B tier, low B tier, but I think Akihiko, while he does get a good amount of tools from it, I think that Orie suffers a bit too much for the team to be solid overall. It's like C tier is definitely going to be the teams that are like very
the teams you want to play the other character, and you're like, oh, it'd be cool if I had Orie 4P. That's that tier list right there.
Yeah, basically, like teams that are particularly one-sided on either side, but like aren't outstandingly good. I think is where C tier goes. So I think C tier Akihiko, high C tier Maju, I think is a good place.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
All right, Chie.
Speaking of C, Chie's JC is kind of nutty. And it's even nuttier if you back it up with Orie's 4P. That is this team.
Yeah.
Lon, what do you think about this team?
I think it's very underwhelming.
I'm a big fan.
Big fan?
I don't think it's S tier. Hell, I barely think it might even be A tier. Lon thinks it's probably lower than that.
I think it's like C tier. Like solid C tier.
I think this team's fine.
Yeah.
Now, I'm also always thinking in Orie assist terms, because I'm an Orie assist player. And from Orie's point of view, this team's ass. It has Chie 4P. Chie 4P is a pretty good assist. Chie 5P, it's not a good assist. It's your standard 5P, kind of Tiger tier. And Chie 6P, which is very awkward to use, and Orie doesn't get a lot out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But think about the Chie side. Chie's 5P, 5B, plus Orie 6P. is gapless, gives you a sandwich anywhere on the screen if you can land it. And if you can get a hit, this team can set up Chie's TOD relatively easier compared to a lot of Chie teams. All you need to do is hit the 5P into another 5P, and you get the TOD. It's a pretty good Chie team. JC plus Orie 4P is your neutral on that team. And your neutral on the Orie side is Suffer. Lon, thoughts?
I mean, I think you summed it up pretty well, where it's just like, yeah, the Chie side of things are like very solid, very okay. Like Chie gets some nice neutral presence with 4P, like surprisingly enough, just because JC plus 4P is just like, yeah, please don't come near me. This
is my spot of the screen. This is my spot of the screen.
Yeah,
do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
That's decent.
You walk into that, you get mixed, and you might get touch of death if they get the mix.
Yeah, that's very silly. 4P is nice for a more additional corner lockdown, despite JC already being there. I think, unlike Rachel, I don't think Chie necessarily it's not overkill with Chie. I think that's good for the corner stuff.
The corner steals too, if you think about it.
I don't want to think about it.
Think about it, Lon.
I don't want to think about it.
But is the Orie suffering enough? Do you just suffer on Orie? Is it enough to lower it?
I definitely think it's enough to lower it.
Okay, how lower? How lower? Because I think it's an A tier team on its own. But if it's an Orie synergy tier list, how low does it go?
Like, okay, granted, I think 4P is good enough to at least place it in B tier for Chie side, because at least it's unpush blockable.
It's unpush blockable. You will get that mix. If they push block and you're feeling kind of frisky, they block the first mix. You cross combo and keep doing it. They can't push block it.
Yeah, I think for what I'm thinking, how I would place another character, I think the team is B tier, just based off what I would think about another character we have coming up next. Just because I think the stuff you said is a bit strong enough to warrant her being like
play this team just because it's fun.
Yeah, like I think Chie does benefit a good amount from Orie, but Orie doesn't get much at all.
Oh yeah, you're suffering on Orie. You want to swap off?
Yeah, like I think because B tier is also for characters that I think benefit a lot from Orie, but Orie doesn't necessarily benefit a lot from. I think that placement is fine.
Oh yeah, Chie does give damage. If you needed someone to say that.
Yeah, I mean, so
I think that just comes with you say Chie, you think damage.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to really say that, but someone needed to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Chie's assist package is better overall than Aki for Orie, and they both kind of suffer from the same problem. Where it's like it's pretty good for the other character, but not good for Orie. But Chie does at least provide some utility here and there. It has the overall better assist package.
And I know a character that offers a lot of assist capabilities, but doesn't get a lot. You want to go to the next character?
But of course, Elizabeth. All right, this team, if you're just playing Orie, is undeniably the strongest Orie team.
Thanatos.
Thanatos is funny. I mean,
okay, but then you're playing Liz.
And that's suffering. And yeah, I mean, we'll talk about the good stuff first. Liz, fantastic, amazing assist package, arguably the best in the entire game. 5P, unpush blockable, complete lockdown, super great for getting your mix-ups going.
2 hits.
Yeah, 2 hits. It's so good. It's disgustingly good.
And then you got the screen control with 6P.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know what Liz's 4P is.
It's Spooferdine.
It's a thing.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good anti-air assist, honestly. It reaches relatively high, hit, like, pretty easy to draw off. It's a nice assist. Persona Base 2, which can work towards and against you. But yeah, those other two assists are really where to shine. That 6P is huge, really good. And all in for like full screen lockdown, but also getting Orie in. Very goated assists. Those 5P lockdown is super good too. It's like those two things are like basically perfectly what Orie wants from a character. And like there's plenty of ways to get Orie into like 2 through 6B is basically a 6P. Bufudyne in Awakening is very good. The team also has very good damage output. Incredibly strong damage output, which is mind charge stuff. Those Liz having pretty good damage overall, alongside 5P. So like team's perfect for Orie. Liz,
Now,
though,
I think this is one of the cases of where the other character is just not a good character, so it lowers the value of the team quite a bit.
mm-hmm. Like Liz's self sufficiency is horrible. She really needs an anti-air assist to work, and Orie doesn't have that. I mean, even though like most characters benefit from 4P for lockdown, Liz doesn't really benefit from lockdown at all because
A mix.
Yeah, she just doesn't really have mix. And her mix is mostly
with your JA in the corner. It's not a high.
God, it's poor Liz. Why is J being on an overhead? But yeah, Liz is not benefiting at all from Orie. It's so suffering on her part, but it's so good for Orie. It's so good.
Okay, we have other characters for that.
Yeah, like that are more solid overall, I think. In the past, I think I would have given her the benefit of the doubt and placed it in A tier, but I'm gonna put Liz in the top of B tier just because Liz doesn't get anything.
She's just not that good of a character. I have tried Liz. It's not fun to play.
Yeah, but it's so good. It's so good with Orie. The neutral is so amazing when Orie is playing. It's just like just don't play Liz, and you'll cope about that team, and you'll think it's like SSSS tier. But sometimes you gotta play Liz, and it sucks.
Turns out if your character dies, you do have to play the other character.
Yep. All right, Kanji.
I think this is a case of a character being bad, but the team could be good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if Kanji were a better character, this team would be good.
Yeah, I definitely feel like if Kanji was a bit more solo, like self-sufficient and solo reliant, and didn't rely so much on assists to get in, team would actually be very good because Kanji himself actually, unlike Tager, has
a good assist kit.
Yeah, has a pretty damn good assist kit. 4P reaches the heaven, very good for controlling airspace. The chair is a very good neutral tool.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always surprised by how good that assist is.
Yeah, very good neutral tool. And 5P is
okay, corner steal, I guess.
Yeah, if you can set it up right, because it lacks the collision blocks on whiff, it's very, very good there. If you could set up.
Otherwise, it's just standard 5P.
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk about standard 5Ps. Taker has that.
Yeah, and also mentioning 4P, it's also solid lockdown too. Push blockable, I believe, as well. It's fine for that. It's just like Kanji really suffers in the neutral game, and Orie doesn't provide the right assist kit to make it work.
But, okay, we also have to talk about unblockables. Okay, we talked about them. Anyways.
Yeah, freaking 4P. 4P in the corner with Kanji is super spooky.
This team just suffers from Kanji not having a neutral game.
Mm-hmm. But the corner game is definitely there for Kanji with 4P. Yeah,
I think it's about covered it because you play Kanji's neutral, and what's Orie's assist doing for you?
Absolutely.
Kanji's too slow to even follow up Orie's 5P. Like, you just slog your way through tar trying to catch up to it, and you can hit 5B, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like 4P you can pop off in the corner, but besides that, the team doesn't really have anything going for Kanji. It's a very Orie beneficial team, which I think pulls it out of being D tier. It's definitely, I don't think it's D tier for sure.
It's okay. Maybe like if you really need more D tiers, it can go at the top of D tier. But we got other characters who can go there.
Yeah, like Noel, and I guess I think it's better than Ragna.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Labyrs though?
Labyrs.
I'm not a Labyrs aficionado. I know nothing about this character. I know JB's stupid. That's all I know. And I know her DP sucks.
Yeah. This is a team, whenever I look at a Labyrs synergy chart, it's always like at A tier or like borderline A tier. I don't really see it.
Yeah, even looking at a person who loves to theorycraft Orie support, I don't see it either. Like, doesn't Labyrs need something to hold down the neutral, and Orie doesn't offer that?
Yeah, like Labyrs neutral, it's not the worst. JB is a very good button, but beside that, it's like kind of underwhelming.
Labyrs' assist or 4P's okay.
4P is actually a very good assist, but not necessarily Orie would love to have, because it's more of a defensive oriented 4P, and we've talked about how the defense...
Yeah, if you really want that, you can go pick Naoto.
Yeah. 5P. How many freaking standard strike assists do we have in this game? Jesus.
Tager.
It's Tager. And 6P is just bad outside of EX Thrust.
Hey!
Yeah, like 6P EX Thrust works, but if you're just using it for anything else, it's horrible.
Seems just like nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
It does have damage, I guess.
Yeah,
maybe.
damage.
If you could charge the axe. You have to win 2 neutral interactions.
Yeah. And I don't think Labyrs really sets up 4P that well in the corner, because I don't know. This is my Labyrs.
Lack of knowledge. Same here.
Yeah, I don't think she can set it up that well in the corner. Could be wrong about that, but even then, like, her mix isn't super outstanding or anything. You can space out her 214C to be like a 21 frame overhead, which is nice, but I don't think you can set it up consistently while also setting up 4P. And besides that, like, Labyrs' mix is just very mediocre. So she's not benefiting too much from 4P. She benefits from 4P as much, I think, as Mai does. 6P is good for fuzzies, and Labyrs does have very consistent fuzzies that she can solo convert off to, which is very nice. Don't know how often she can set that up, but that is a nice thing about the team. But overall, I feel like the team is just very underwhelming.
I'm very whelmed.
Yeah, I'm very, very whelmed. I think it's probably below Ragna. I
think it's even lower.
Like below Hakumen?
Like Noel area.
Below Noel.
Yeah.
That's fair, I think. Yeah, I feel very underwhelmed about the team. I don't think both characters get like okay tools, but nothing too upstanding. And like they're definitely better partners for each other. All right.
Seems just not impressive. Naoto, the other one.
News.
I know a lot of Orie players are very high on this team. I've not been impressed by this team, probably because I suck at this character.
Yeah.
Tell me about this team, Lon.
I the first time I ever made a tier list, I said this is Orie's second best team, and I don't necessarily stand by that anymore.
It's definitely a super sauce team. Yeah. This team can do some crazy things. The thing is, you're playing Naoto as neutral, and unless you're good at Naoto, I am not. It's a very underwhelming team, for me at least, just because I suck at this character. But I can see the sauce. Like, you could set up unblockables. You could set up unblockables in IK. You could set up, like, you could do Ender. There's an Ender where you do Naoto's IK mark into an Orie 5P. And then you cross combo. I think that's it. You cross combo an Orie 4P. And it locks them down, and then you set up a Naoto IK and swap. I don't know. It's really hard for me to explain, but you could set up an unblockable into the IK.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's usually like 5-6p.
It's out there pinned somewhere, I guess.
Yeah, Hamawon into air unblockable DP. Well,
This team is sauced as hell, but no one can play it.
Yeah.
No one I know, anyways.
Hold on, I'll be just a second. Sorry about that. I will cut that in the edit, but
Then post.
yeah, in the post, but yeah, 5p, 6p, Hama active swap if they're blocking in the air unblockable, they get instant kill like that. Yeah.
There's a lot of sauce, but I think that's most Naoto teams from my experience. Most good Naoto teams have a lot of sauce.
Yeah, and I think this is overall, like, if you consider on the Naoto side of thing, I think it's solid. I think it's just the Orie side of things that's really, really appealing to me, because 5p, really nice, like, fairly solid unpush blockable lockdown. 6p as well is very good for neutral, as well as...
And you could set up an unblockable onto IK or Mark.
Yeah, that's...
Also block 6p, what I mean.
Yeah.
Because you can do DP swap.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about Naoto 6p.
Yeah. Naoto 6p is what I'm talking about, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because they block the Naoto 6p, you run up, you hit a 2b DP swap.
Oh, like
and
that.
And now you get a Mark or an IK.
Okay, I was a bit confused with the wording there, but yeah, that's very good. Naoto 6p is incredibly good assist, not fully neutral, but for lockdown as well. Super appealing for Orie. 4p, kind of as an anti-air, it's kind of like okay, decent, but like it does have that corner steal property, and I've yet to find a consistent way to set it with Orie, but just the fact that it's an option is very strong.
This is your lab monster team. If you can come up with the tech and you can play Naoto, this is your team.
Yeah. Like, this team is, in theory, like, very, very strong.
I just have yet to see someone execute it.
Yeah. But it's got so much going for it. The damage is not a problem because of...
You don't need damage, you just kill them.
Yeah, exactly. Super strong lockdown as well as neutral presence for Orie. It's strong in that regard. It's just like, yeah, this team's got pretty much everything Orie wants. I would say I still stand by, even though I don't think it's top 2, probably it's still top 3.
ACS too, definitely.
Yeah.
It's like a spicy. If you could get it to work, it's spicy.
Yeah, like there's a lot going for it, I think, and really hope someone comes out and plays it because I certainly can't either. I guess we also need to talk about the Naoto neutral side of things. Or the Naoto.
Naoto has enough to be self-sufficient in neutral. Yeah. You really don't need to worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the 5p, if they approach and they hit a trap, you can hit a 5p on them and run a mix from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 6p, you can do the classic 6p plus projectile loop on this team from full screen. It's like, Naoto has better neutral assist options, like the Vatista team.
Yeah, definitely. Naoto definitely has better options, but I think what Orie provides is fine enough. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about freaking 236B unblockables on Naoto, because you can also do that, and that's also incredibly strong.
I talked about doing the unblockable into IKs.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you were talking about the air unblockable one.
Oh, there's more than one unblockable on this team.
Yeah, there's so many unblockables. I mean, I was just really confused.
You can do that inside of an Orie orb, but you don't have to worry about converting it.
Yeah, it's very silly. Yeah, 6p also sets up fuzzies decently well with Naoto. 4p to lockdown, just in case you actually want to mix with Naoto too. Yeah, strong stuff for Naoto. Easy S tier for me.
I won't get you on it. The only problem is no one can play it.
Yep. I'm really surprised there isn't more.
Believe me, I've tried. I am so bad at Naoto.
Same. I can't make it work, even though I think really highly of the team. Alright. Mitsuru.
This team is pretty good, but you're playing Mitsuru. And Orie doesn't want to play with Mitsuru, because Mitsuru's assists are not that great.
No one wants to play with Mitsuru. I know that...
You're playing Orie not to play not Mitsuru. Why are you playing Mitsuru with Orie?
Exactly.
But the team's pretty good.
Yeah, it's solid, decent overall. It's it's in the same vein as Chie and Aki, where like Mitsuru Mitsuru is not providing anything for Orie.
I wouldn't even say that. I'd actually say there's a lot of double-sided synergy going on here.
Is there? Because
Yeah, Mitsuru's 5P is not even that bad. It's like your standard 5P. We've talked plenty about that.
look, every character has a standard 5P.
Yeah, we've talked plenty about standard 5Ps. And Mitsuru's pretty standard. The 4P, it's also pretty standard 4P. It's actually worse than your standard 4P because it's a Persona 4P, and those get broken sometimes. The 6P is where most of the sauce would come in. You can get a lot of really good EX thrusts off of that. That's one of the better EX thrust combos in the game. Mm-hmm. If it hits, it's huge damage. Like that, I don't know what's up with that, but that thing hits like 5k on its own. Mm-hmm. And you have plenty of time to swap if you want to swap without cross combo for a funny mix. It's there. You could throw on Mitsu 6P in neutral. Results may vary. It works sometimes. Mm-hmm. But it's like there's worse assists. Mitsuru's assists aren't that bad.
I don't know. I've always felt like Mitsuru 6P has those fringe cases, but it's like overall it's
results may vary.
Yeah, like overall it's a better assist. Like EX thrust 6P is good, and I think it's better than what Chie and Aki can get. But like everything else about the team for Orie is just super underwhelming for me. Yeah, but I mean, this is a heavily Mitsuru-centric team, so let's talk about like how good it is for Mitsuru, because it's a great Mitsuru team, honestly.
Every thrust character, you can think about. If the character has a thrust, they like Orie 6P. Mitsuru, no different. The 5P gives some big damage combos. The lockdown's nice. 4P, you can do really funny things with the 4P on this team.
Yeah.
You set it up in the corner off of your standard knockdown. You can even like jump back, IED back, JC, and now they're in a sandwich. It's just like there's plenty of things this team can do with Mitsuru's side. Like especially the IED back JC with Orie 4P. You set up a sandwich mid-screen or in the corner. Mm-hmm. And they're blocking the 4P because it gives enough lockdown for Orie's 4P. And it's not push blockable. You do, it's harder to push block. Like you push block that setup, and Mitsuru's farther away, so you might not have to hold the JB, but you're blocking Orie's 4P, so you might have to block the JB anyways. Mm-hmm. Like it's definitely favoring Mitsuru's side more. Orie doesn't get nothing out of it.
Yeah, I could definitely see getting nothing out of it, but like I also don't think it's enough to really put it into the A tier.
Oh, I can agree with that.
Yeah,
it's kind of one-sided, but Orie doesn't get nothing.
Yeah, it's. I think it's very heavily one-sided enough where I'm saying like probably above my.
Yeah, definitely above my.
Yeah, but
remember, I rate my lower than you rate mine.
Yeah, but like the team is just very strong for Mitsuru, as like everything Matt said. I don't have anything more to that. Just super strong lockdown. Neutral is very nice. Just with the Rust. I mean, Mitsuru doesn't really need help with neutral outside of zoning matchups. But
this team gets shit on by zoners.
Yeah, just don't play it against zoners. But outside of those matchups, very very good Mitsuru team. All right,
Teddie. Lon, do you know anything about Teddie?
Oh, I've played against Mustache Villain enough times. Like I've gotten a decent grasp about Teddie. And like
I've played against Kyo's Teddie. That's and Lance Teddie. That's it.
Yeah, I mean Teddie's a weird oddball character because a lot of people play him differently. But yeah, I mean overall, he at the very least is a strong.
Has a solid assist set too.
Mm-hmm. Like he's a very solid support centric character, and while I don't necessarily think that Teddie gets a lot from Orie, I think that Orie does get a lot from Teddie.
That 6P is nutty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very good for approaching.
EX Thrust setup definitely is there.
Mm-hmm. Just for neutral, it's good. 5P is like a low key war crime assist because it's a sandwich anywhere. And like Orie, she can set up sandwich with EX thrust, but like any character is gonna really benefit from like not having to spend meter or like do something risky for the sandwich. And it's just like very good assistant. Item toss. Normally, like I said, for a lot of characters, having a lack of an anti-air assist hurts, but Orie is not one of those characters, so having item toss as a assist is actually pretty strong, especially depending on the item on rotation. You can just get buckets whenever you want, or like the barrel. It's like those seems to be super good for Orie. Teddie provides like very good assist package. I think the only thing he's lacking is like a lockdown assist, but I guess you can get that from barrel, but that's going to be a bit inconsistent.
Okay, this team is definitely underexplored, by the way.
100%. I mean, Teddie's an underexplored character just in general, for sure.
So, like, if you're looking for a team to chill in the Orie channel, and you want to learn this team, go for it.
Yeah, wink, wink, nudge.
It's underexplored right now.
Yeah. But for the Teddie side of things, unlike Orie, Teddie is a character that really wants an air control assist, and Orie does not provide that. So there's like it's kind of suffering there. 5P's like okay, and I don't think Teddie really uses 6P that well. So like overall, this is definitely a very heavily sided Orie team, but I think Orie gets a lot from Teddie.
Dude, is it enough to put it in B tier?
Yeah, I think Teddie's assist kit is strong enough to put it in B tier. Honestly, it's the same way I feel about Rachel, where Rachel isn't really getting anything she wants, and Teddie himself is a relatively self-sufficient character. I don't think he suffers too much without a partner, unless they're jumping at you a lot. But
and you can get the sandwich, the funny sandwich.
Yeah, the funny sandwich is good enough. 6P is good enough. 4P is good. All those kids are like very good for Orie. So I think B tier right next to Rachel is a good place to put her. Or him.
Adachi.
Right.
I don't think this team's very good.
I don't think this team
is that controversial to say?
No, I don't think so. I don't think this team is very good either. But Adachi.
Adachi's good.
Adachi is stupidly good enabler. Like the team synergistic wise, like there's nothing there really.
Yeah, where's the mix? I guess you can unblockable.
Oh, I mean, there's going to be a mix there. I mean, Adachi BZO is always going to provide you with enough lockdown to do stuff. Like, come on, it's Adachi. Like, BZO stuff.
Yeah, you can't see what the mix-up is, so it's there, right?
Yeah. Like, let's just talk about assist kit first. Like, 5P, like, stupidly good lockdown assist. Very good for situating Orie's pressure. 6P is very good air control assist. It can be broken, but your opponent generally has to go out of the way to break it, and you can, like, use that to your advantage. Like very good for covering your approaches. 4P, very solid anti-air assist. More defensive oriented, I think, but it is big enough where I think you can maybe use it offensively sometimes. Like Adachi's assist kit is like really great for Orie, I think, and like I mean BZO stuff, like it's silly. Where the problem is actually setting up that BZO stuff with Adachi. Orie doesn't set it up that well. Really lacks a lot of good lockdown or. Lockdown.
Any way to set it up at all?
Yeah, but like it's there and it'll always be a threat, and it's not like you can't use it. And even then, you can just use AZO to kind of act as swap, and that's a pretty good option. But for Adachi's not really benefiting that much because he's lacking a lot of good defensive assists to help him like not get overwhelmed. His neutral, like also to help neutral and set up BZO stuff. Because that's basically what you want. You just want stuff to set up BZO and help Adachi not get overwhelmed. That's the two things you want with Adachi. And Orie provides like neither. So like super heavily one-sided for Orie. I think probably like B tier.
I think you just put him in the same spot as Jin and then drop Jin to C tier. Honestly.
You think so? I think.
Yeah,
fair.
I think with the way we have the tier list now, Jin is just C tier.
Yeah, that's fair. Adachi strong Orie support, provides a good amount of the stuff she wants, Adachi gets nothing. Adachi just frankly gets absolutely nothing from the deal, but you can't complain about.
You cannot go wrong with BZO.
Yeah,
but you can also pick a better team for both characters.
Yeah. Alright, Yosuke.
Oh, God. I don't want to talk about Yosuke.
We're gonna have to, Mass.
Yosuke, the funny jumpy guy. He jumps on you. And then he has a 4P, and now he's jumping on you, but it's even harder to block.
Yeah, this team
is... You go ahead.
Yeah, this team is annoying. I don't necessarily think it's that great.
I just think why?
Yeah. Like,
why are you like this?
I think Yosuke particularly likes air control as well as a projectile assist, and Orie provides neither. But the stuff you can do with Yosuke in the corner is just like, it's so annoying. God, I don't want to block Yosuke.
Oh, I swapped. And now you're blocking the Orie 4P on the other side.
Yeah, like it's... The team is decent overall, I think. Like, Yosuke's assists are fairly good.
Surprisingly good.
Yeah, like 6P is pretty good for neutral. It is persona based, so it's unpush blockable. Doesn't have enough lockdown, I think, to make use of it, but it is a pretty good assist. 4P is like okay, fairly fast, very good at covering the airspace above you. Very solid defensive assist, and 5P is a strike assist. Like, those things I think are like solid, good things to have for playing Orie. I just think that Yosuke doesn't really benefit from neutral, and a lot of where the team is good for Yosuke is in the corner. But I think Yosuke's pressure game in the corner is already fairly solid. So
yeah, Yosuke is already mixing you. I don't think you really need Orie's assist to help you there.
Yeah, like it's undeniably like going to help you, but yeah, I don't think it's as necessary as some other characters. I'm feeling a solid B tier about this, just because I think there's enough good tools to make the team like solid, decent overall.
I don't think it's enough to be B tier. Maybe higher C tier. Like, I'm just looking at what we have in the B tier.
I don't know. I think that Orie definitely benefits more from Yosuke's assist package than to warrant placing him in.
I think Yosuke's 6P would be about as strong as Mitsuru's 6P in the same situations. They both have a startup. They both throw a projectile. And then Yosuke's 5P is Mitsuru's 5P.
Yeah.
And then the advantage Yosuke has is that his 4P is dumb and Mitsuru's is not.
Yeah. I don't know.
Then Mitsuru gets dumb stuff off of Orie, and Yosuke, I don't really think... Yosuke can get a 4P off Orie, and other than that, like, I'm just kind of whelmed by this team. I don't think it's B tier.
I can see that, yeah. Probably it's... Oops.
He wanted to be in B tier.
Yeah, I think if we're putting Jin in C tier, put Yosuke in B tier too, I think that's fair. Just because I think they suffer from the same problem where it's like, yeah, they provide okay, good tools to each other, but it's nothing super like super impressive on either side. It's just solid. It's like decent, okay, but maybe a bit underwhelming.
Like, you have better options for Yosuke.
Definitely better options for Orie too.
Okay, right. Yukiko. Let me start. I don't know a person who plays this team.
Yeah, I don't know a person who plays this team either.
Okay, Lon, I don't know what the hell this team does. I don't even know what Yukiko does. I had to ask Podge what Yukiko does. You tell me.
Surely, I don't know what time. I've never played Yukiko in my life. Smart. Okay, well, in all seriousness, this
you play Celica.
Yeah, Celica. This is my main team, and I do think very highly of it. There is a surprising amount of synergy in this team. And I have talked about this before, but we'll repeat it again. On the Orie side of things, 6P like surprisingly does pretty much everything you want.
The screen is mine.
Yeah, the screen is yours. Super, super great air space control assist. Like, no one can contest you up there if it comes out. Like, you're free and safe for air to air. It's really good for pseudo lockdown too, just because it forces people to crouch or you throw it in air and blockable. Like super, super, super great for that. good for EX thrust setup. That's a conversion right here, and that's a lot of damage too on the table. Like, in terms of the neutral and pressure game,
Yeah, you get to the later fire levels, that thing hurts.
yeah, like neutral, it's really great for neutral. It's really great for pressure, and like it helps you convert off anything. If you know how to convert with this team, you can convert off pretty much any mix up with 6P. Yeah, and like we mentioned earlier, the damage output of this team can be very, very fantastic, with and without Orie point. This is like one of the few teams where you don't have to. You can be on Orie and have good damage. Yeah, it's very good for that. Like 6P does like pretty much everything Orie wants to do. The other two assists are like kind of where it's a bit iffy. 5P is nicer than the standard strike assist because it is unpush blockable, and with cross combo you can like loop it for a while in case you need some lockdown pressure. So that's fairly solid. And 4P is we don't talk about that assist, but
hey, Pod uses it.
Yeah, I mean, Taker Yukiko is one of those weird teams where it actually can use it well. Orie doesn't really do it. There are some neat combos you can do to get some healing with 4P, but that's a bit more niche. But yeah, for Orie, the team's actually fairly solid. And
so what you're saying is 6P makes your lunch, does your laundry, and all that stuff?
Yes, it quite literally does. Such a good assist.
Gotcha. Is that good enough to put it in an S tier?
No, absolutely not.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Yeah. And then we just think about the Orie side of the team. The team's very strong. The Yukiko side
What's Yukiko get from it?
It's fairly okay. There are definitely better characters for Yukiko, like Hilda. But 4P is very nice. It can give you some breathing room to like set up 214B or get some fire levels in.
Or mixing up with JC, I guess.
Mix-ups, yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh players tell me that's not a mix-up. You can block that easy, and then I get hit by it 5 times in a row.
Well, just block the 25 frame rate. That's fine. Yeah, 4P is like okay for like lockdown pressure. Yukiko mix is also kind of mediocre though. 6P, 5P do their jobs in neutral to help cover the ground while Yukiko's maybe air fanning, and they help her get some assists, or at the very least what you're using them for is to help Orie get in, and they're good for that. But overall, like for Yukiko, the team is pretty decent. Definitely not one-sided, or not heavily one-sided, I should say.
Like an Orie team.
Yeah, it's an Orie team, 100%. But
like you can usually define a team as it is it an Orie team or is it the other character's team, and this one's an Orie team.
For sure. Yeah, seems good. 6P does your laundry, makes you a sandwich, does your taxes, does everything you want. Decent on the other side too. I'd say definitely above S, but not below. Or definitely above S, not below Susan.
See, this is like the bar for A tier.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Let's talk about the Giga Chad.
You Narakami.
Do you have any controversial takes on this one? Or?
Not really. The team is good. I'd probably place it in top 5 for for Orie teams. Where I'm probably disagreeing with some Orie players is like I don't think it's S tier. It's very high A tier. Very high A tier though.
I think this team is kind of godlike.
Mm-hmm. You have anything else to say about that?
No, it's just a solid team.
Yeah, it's very good. Incredibly solid. Both sides get a lot of good stuff. Orie gets a nice projectile assist with 6P. Standard bullet assist very fast. Good lockdown with 5P. 4P is literally the only reason why I don't put this team in S tier, because 4P for neutral is very, very underwhelming.
The funny thing is this team actually has uses for 4P too.
Yeah. It's
a delayed assist, so you cross up with it on the 214 AC funnies. You can set up a force sandwich with it pretty easy because that's that hard knockdown. There's a lot of things you can do with a 4P. It's definitely not useless. The neutral case, the neutral use cases. Sure, they don't have that much neutral use case, but do you really need the neutral?
It would be nicer. I feel when I look at that and like the utility a 4P has compared to just having a good 4P like the other characters in S tier, it does bring it down a little bit, at least not to their level, just because I think Narukami does provide nice things with 5P and 6P, but just like it could be more, and I think the characters in S tier provide that more. But like you said, 4P does have those use cases that are very good. And like it's
okay. Let's kind of start at ground one. Why is this team S tier before? Because we just went in and kind of said it's a solid team S tier.
Yeah.
But there's other solid teams that are in S tier that aren't in S tier. So why is this team S tier?
Mm-hmm. Like, well,
first off, Narukami's kind of dumb.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
He is the plus frames character.
Yeah, just constant plus frames everywhere.
So he has enough plus frames for you. If you're feeling spicy, you can even set up the Orie 4P in block stun and just keep running your mix. Because he has unpush blockable situations with his plus frames because he's a persona character. And you have enough time to set up a 4P and still keep them in block stun while you're doing it and run even more mix-up. I don't know if that's worth the assist gauge. I don't do it, but it's possible.
Yeah, and that is a strong option for the team. And I mean, just 4P in general is like disgusting with Narukami. His corner mix is like incredibly good. He has a lot of stuff he can get off it. Adding the 4P to it is just like more layers. Hey, you block the first JC, eat the next mix though.
And it is that one safe jump setup where he, like in the corner where he does the persona attack and knocks him down. You can set up a 4P on that one too.
Yeah. Like the amount of layers of mix you can get with a team is disgusting. And Narukami is not the type of character who, while he does appreciate having a projectile assist, he doesn't need him. And like 6P will do him well enough. He's also a character that doesn't really need an anti-air assist. And
he could definitely use Orie 6P.
Mm-hmm.
So 5A plus 6P is the same situation as Chie's 5B 6P. You get a sandwich if you land it.
Mm-hmm.
With plus frames.
Yeah, like the team definitely benefits Narukami quite a bit. I mean, just mostly for the 4P. I can't stress how disgusting that is, but Narukami gets a good bit from the other assists too. So the team is like very, like both characters get strong tools on both sides. Like get everything they pretty much needed and want. Yeah, that's the reason why this team. The reason why this team is strong is just very basic and simple. It's just like both characters get strong tools. Both characters benefit from each other quite a bit.
So would you say it's a dry S tier, or you still want to put it in the A tier?
I just think it's A tier, honestly. It's at the very top of A tier, just because like.
Is that only because the 4P?
I think it's 4P as well as like the other characters in S tier providing a lot more compared to Narukami, and like are generally better overall teams. But like, don't get me wrong, this is a very much a borderline team. Like, it just needed a couple more things here and there for me to like really squeeze it into the S tier.
So top A tier, just with the other pseudo S tiers. And if we don't have enough S tiers, we'll just start tossing them in S tier.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Because I think we're running out of characters that go into S tier.
Yeah, there's like only 2 characters I can think of left that would maybe go into S tier, but we'll see how the lists look. All right, that's the
because those 3 at the top of A tier. I think all of them are S tier.
Mm-hmm. I definitely can agree with that, but yeah.
Carmine. Oh wait, we got to talk about Uni.
Yeah, but I want to take a quick break right now because we've been going on for
2 hours,
2.5 hours, just to get more water, get a snack. But you know, the people at home, they won't know that there will be a pause here. But yeah, we'll be right back. All right, I've turned from getting snacks and food. We shall continue on with the tier list making, starting with the Undernight characters. Carmine.
Gross, this team. I do not like this team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of it either, but I also don't think it's necessarily that underwhelming or bad. I just think, like, it's Carmine's like entire
He has
presence.
no like even as a like as an assist, all he has really is 6p as an assist, and that's not even that good as an assist.
Mm.
Carmine's presence as just being Carmine on the field isn't really amplified by Orie. So that's why I don't think this team's very good at all.
Mm.
Like, even, yeah, if you're thinking, oh, Carmine alone, he's just solid. Or Carmine with Orie is still just solid. That's my mindset, anyways.
Yeah, the team definitely comes off as very just it's Carmine. uh and it must be good, right? But yeah, synergy wise, I don't really see a lot going here. Like 6P's nice. Okay, 5P's like actually kind of a nice strike assist. 4P's like kind of goodish lockdown. It's like Carbine's overall assist package is just like, yeah, it's fine, it's okay. Um
Standard assist affair, 6Ps.
uh
Not even as good as it sounds.
yeah, like
Like, I've always found in practice, a 6P isn't even that good.
I think for some other characters it's definitely a lot better, but I don't think Orie is one of them. Um yeah, I know I rated this team like in B tier before, but I'm like leaning more towards like lower B tier, top of C tier, just because like Carmine doesn't really get a lot from Orie. To be fair, he doesn't need a lot as a character. He's very strong just by himself.
It's
But
more like Carmine alone. Yes, okay, solid. Carmine with Orie. Yes, okay, solid. But having Orie there doesn't do anything for that.
yeah, um, even like 4P, which is normally like the saving grace for a lot of teams, is just like Carmine's not
He can
really
kind
a
of do it himself, and he
yeah.
still can't mix you up.
Yeah, like Carmine's not a mixed focus character. He's a neutral, like space control like character, like overwhelming space control as well as doing a lot of damage as well as like setting up other characters pretty well. And I don't think he sets up Orie as well as
He set
I
up
would
for
like.
a certain team's unblockables, and last I checked, Orie is not exactly known for her unblockables.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling if we're gonna place like Yosuke and Jin in the same like in C tier, I feel like Carmine also kind of feels like C tier as well.
Gordo, can we just skip Gordo? He's not in the game anymore.
Who?
He's not in the game anymore.
Gord who?
Who?
Yeah.
Oh, that guy who terrorized the patch one.
Oh yeah. All right, Gordo. Obviously, this character is not good, but he is like okay as like assist bot slash Grim Reaper bot character.
And he's not in the same spot he was before.
Yeah, like I don't think he's not D tier just because I think his assist package is solid enough.
You just have to think about the way they nerfed his 5P. It's basically Tager's 5P now.
Yeah,
It's about as active and about as big.
it doesn't, despite how I feel it should be, it actually doesn't have enough lockdown. If you want actual lockdown, you use his I think 256B. I think it's 256B.
At the very least, his damage isn't that low, and he can go for unblockables.
Mm-hmm. I really highly doubt that they are DP slash burst safe, but that they are an option.
Oh, no, but you just turn it into a 50-50. Either you block the DP or you go for the unblockable.
Yeah, it's just like damn. It's not very good, but it is an option. Um, there's enough going for the team where I can't place it in D tier, but there's not a lot I can say about it. It's because Gord, 6P is a nice, um, kind of a nice projectile assist. 5P is okay. 4P is just actively bad. But the Grim Reaper active swap is where I'm just like, yeah, the team can't be that bad, right? That's like so much lockdown. It's very nice. It's just very nice for pressure if you can get it going. If you somehow get in with Gord, uh, Gord playing neutral with Orie assist, I also think is probably suffering too.
Is it enough to go into D tier, or is it still C tier?
I'm really hopping on the Grim Reaper Act Swap Copium train being good enough to keep him out of D tier. Even though the team is suffering.
Lower end of C tier. Sounds fine to me.
Probably maybe above Noel? Below Noel? Below.
I'm starting to realize how low Igus is. I think that's wrong. But we'll mess with that later, I guess.
I think below. Yeah. Yeah, I think that works. Gord's just a bad character. But he has kind of nice utility with Grim Reaper Active Swap. And 6P.
Next up.
Oh boy, Hilda.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have much experience with this team because I actively avoid playing Hilda. Tell me about it.
Understandable. I mean, I think this team is like borderline S tier, if not just S tier. It's definitely a dry S tier because that is Hilda on it.
Okay, tell me about it. Why?
I mean, Hilda has great assists.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I hate 4P. It's my least favorite assist in the game. But besides that, super great space control, both air and ground. Bit slow, which is actually kind of nice for Orie. Just for 2-360 setups. I know it's a bit awkward to do 4P 2-360, but like 4P is a good enough assist to actually go through that hurdle. It's so stupid. It's so big, so active. It's just
the only time I've talked about that before is Tager's 4P, and that's a little harder to set up because then you're calling Tager 4P in neutral.
Yeah, like
the difference here is you call 4P Hilda's 4P in neutral without doing anything else. You're fine. You're fine. That assist is good on its own.
Yeah, it's
stupid. So you just call the 4P normally and then do your EX thrust.
Yeah, it's like very stupid. 5P is a good assist, hits pretty high, decently fast. It kind of feels like one of those standard strike assists, but like I think it reaches enough, or it reaches vertically high enough where I don't really feel about that the same way I do other assists. It's a fairly good assist. And 6P, very good at just doing standard approaches. A bit delayed as always, but I mean 4P is like 7 assists in 1, I'll be honest. That thing is like very good enough to carry like almost any character. But having that on top of having the other 2 assists is also very strong. I didn't even mention how good 4P is for lockdown. That's actually a pretty decent lockdown assist too.
Yeah, because you do EX thrust with it, and you're still locking them out after the EX thrust.
Yeah, it's a bit stupid. Very good for corner pressure, and all that jazz. Pretty easy to set up, just do already safe jumps. Like I said, it's a bit slow, but I don't think that's as huge of a problem. Just because of how valuable that is.
And how does Hilda do with Orie's assists?
Honestly, I think perfectly fine. Hilda is.
There's no supplemental zoning here, but you don't necessarily need that.
Mm-hmm.
Hilda can kind of hold down the neutral with just the zoning alone, and then if she gets in or they get close enough, you have Orie's assist to help you out.
Mm-hmm. Like Orie does very standard stuff for Hilda.
Yeah, Orie has a standard assist pool when you don't think about you don't have an projectile assist. If the character doesn't need a projectile assist, then Orie's assist pool is fine.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you have the best zoner in the game with Hilda.
You don't need a projectile assist.
Yeah, she is the projectile, and I'm pretty sure JC plus assist 2 works with Hilda Orie, so that's good too. I know that's a nice thing to have with it because God, I hate Hilda JC. Very, very strong neutral tool to have. So yeah, I think while Hilda doesn't necessarily get as good of things as you'd like, I think Orie benefits way too much from Hilda's assist for me.
How about P? How about Orie 4P?
Or A4P.
with
Actually,
Hilda.
it's okay.
She does have the instant overhead, right?
Yeah, she does have an instant
It's
overhead.
kind of. It's weird.
I honestly just rather use 5P for 5P JA for converting off that. I mean, Hilda can like convert solo off her instant overhead like off half the roster too. So having 4P isn't even necessary sometimes. Um, but I don't know. 4P is still nice, of course, if you want to go for some mix in the corner. But nothing super outstanding. I don't think so. Yeah. Like I said, I think Hilda gives too much to Orie for me not to put her in S tier. I think the only thing that's lacking at the team is damage output is a bit low, but I don't think that's a huge problem. The neutral's good. Orie gets very nice lockdown. Hilda's at least benefiting a good amount from Orie. Hilda's very good at keeping or getting Orie in. But also, not to mention, Hilda's also very strong in a sandwich, so that's equally more benefiting to
When you have EX thrust.
yeah, because she has like the high-low left-right mixes you can do with her EX.
And because Orie is Orie, EX thrust does steal the corner, so you can get that sandwich situation anywhere on the screen.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know if you would disagree with S tier, but I think this is a very very strong.
It's less that I disagree with S tier. I don't really disagree with S tier. I just think the 3 and the A tier, I still want them in S tier.
Understandable. We'll reconsider later.
Yeah, we'll have a little end of stream happen thing.
Yeah. All right.
Hyde. I think Hyde is a can of worms.
In what way? Because I definitely think Hyde already is a very good team.
It's more that Hyde is good, but how good? It's one of those cases of he's super solid. I think he's in the same category as me as Vatista, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like he's super solid. He's a kid's solid, but is it enough to warrant playing Hyde?
Yeah.
With Orie, I don't think so.
Well, I mean, you can say about. I feel like you could say about everything. I don't know.
My problem is more okay. So this team does have damage. Hyde can loop the Borbiters with this team, so there is some damage there.
Yeah, I mean,
tell me your take on this team. I think this team is definitely not S tier. I think it's like lower A tier, if anything.
I would say like middle ground in A tier.
I think it's around where S is.
Yeah, I can't necessarily disagree with that, even though I'd probably place him above Yukiko. Then again, I don't know how low we're rating Yukiko, and I guess I never specified that.
Like, he's just a really good assist bot.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's just solid by himself, so you don't need anything.
Yeah. Even, the things that Orie does provide a Hyde. 4P, I mean, you can set it
He doesn't even get much off the 4P.
Yeah, he doesn't
it's
really
just
have
your standard 4P. Your standard 4P. Oh, I have you in the corner lockdown on a 4P. Be stressed out. Also, I'm going for empty jump low. Never mind, I IED'd.
Yeah, like, it's just standard stuff with 4P. You can set it up decently well. Where it's nice with pressure is 6P because Hyde does have very nice fuzzies that he can solo convert off of. So having consistent fuzzies is very nice. I
actually think the team is very similar to my team from like a Orie assist point.
Yeah, I just think Hyde 5P is better lockdown though. And as
well it's just Hyde's assists are way better, so it's just a more solid A team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, Hyde's a very self-sufficient character. Doesn't really need a great assist package in order to function. Of course, like as always, could do for some better ones, but does well with Orie. Yeah, I would personally place it above Yukiko.
So now you get to downplay too.
She's still an A tier.
You get to downplay Yukiko too? Okay.
She's still an A tier. Look, that's a higher rank than like 99% of people would give Yukiko. Yeah, do you think that's fine, or would you rather have
That's
him
fine.
lower? Okay. All right, Linne.
Linne? Ugh.
This team makes me sad.
Everything we said about Hyde, except without the good assists.
mm,
That's basically my take on it.
I, I just think this team is like very actively bad.
It has that we just said about Hyde. Okay, I think that. Now take away all of Hyde's good assists. That's what this team is. Okay, now add mix-ups with the role. I don't think that helps much. C tier Mac.
Yeah. I would probably.
I'm almost thinking D tier. Yeah.
I genuinely think it's D tier just because Linne's assist package is so garbage. It just doesn't help Orie at
Like
all.
you just think Hyde team, and then you take out all the assists. Like you don't even put any assists back in. You just take out all of them.
Yeah, Linne's assist kit is just that bad.
And then I guess you instead of having Hyde's self-sufficient neutral, you have Linne's almost like scary presence on the screen. Because Linne alone is scary. She's not doing that much damage, but she's just scary. Like the crew goes on the screen all the time, and she's got these big buttons. Her mix-up isn't even bad, but Linne's just not that good. She's scary, but she's not that good.
Yeah.
And Orie's not doing much for her.
Yeah, I mean,
I know there's some Japanese players that make this team work. There's at least two of them.
Yeah. I mean, there's nice stuff with it. It
has tech, it has sauce. It's just Linne's assists are suffering.
Yeah, they're just actively bad, and Orie's assists aren't like good enough to I think help bolster Linne. Like Linne, not the worst solo character, but I do think she needs that little push to really get going, and I don't think Orie has the assist for at least for the neutral game.
I said this to someone who was asking the Orie channel before. This is like think Linne Hyde, but without Hyde's projectile assist and with more Orie 4P mix up. So you have to navigate the neutral without the Borbiter. And if you do get in, you do get some funny mix-ups. You can fuzzy off of 6P. You can Orie 4P into whatever the hell you want to do. If they block the 4P, you're not getting much. Because Linne's solo mix-up with like fuzzies or roll setups aren't that good either. But you can pressure.
Yeah.
It could be better. You could definitely come into the Orie channel and be like, oh, this team's actually cracked. And I'd be like, okay, I believe you. Show me. I'm a believer, but not right now.
Yeah, Also, there's an aspect of the damage output being absolutely horrendous. It's borderline. I'll put it in D. Just because I think the damage output is just horrible, and like Linne's assist being absolutely horrible, and like
your neutral's kind of suffering, and then when you win the neutral, you don't get much reward.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have to do it again.
Got to do it constantly. Yeah, that seems bad. Definitely D tier. Maybe below Makoto. Probably below Makoto, honestly.
Yeah, at least Makoto has like 8k combos.
Yeah, at least Makoto has damage. That's about it. Alright. Merkava.
Noodle boy.
Noodle boy.
This is one of those teams like... There's memes around this team. That's about it.
I think the team, like, memes aside, is pretty decent.
I wouldn't even say that.
Is it not?
No.
Why is that?
I think it's basically just think of it like the Gordo team. And that's about how you sum it up.
I guess. I don't know. I've always found Merkava's assist package to be, like, fine.
So just like Gordo.
That's true. But I mean, the thing is Merkava is a bit better.
He's definitely a better character.
Yeah, he's better than Gord solo, so he's not suffering as much for having Orie's assists. And like Orie's assists, like they do enough for him, I think. Where it's just like
A whole lot, but they do.
yeah.
He does have the funny JC. I guess you can do that in the Orie 4P.
Yeah, like I think the corner mix with the team can be kind of nice, but that's every character. I don't know how much like or his other assists are helping for neutral because I think that's where he mainly struggles nowadays. Is just trying to get in properly and usually
I
wants
said this team has the problem of a lot of teams with Orie. What do you do against the projectiles? A lot of teams are like this.
Yeah.
The team does not function well into projectiles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On either side.
Yeah, I'm kind of convinced myself like it's okay.
I don't know if it's easier, but that's like basically the Gordo team, but better because a better character.
Yeah, I think I'll place it by where Jin is. Where it's just like I think both of them provided an okay amount of tools to each other that are like decent, but they're not exactly what they want. Like 5P I guess is okay lockdown for Orie. 6P is like a weird projectile. It can maybe work. 4P is just like whatever anti-air. Like the team overall is just like yeah. I mean it works. I feel like it's the same thing how I feel about like Ragna. Just maybe better overall assist package. Where it's just like, yeah, the team, like, it's functional, it's okay, but it's nothing of note.
And also, it has some really bad matchups.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Ragna team.
Yeah. Yeah, I think C tier is fine.
I don't know if it needs to be so far away from Ragna, but the ordering at this point barely matters.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It'd probably be about where Ragna is. It doesn't matter that much, though.
Yeah. I think I think that works. All right, Mika.
I'm just gonna give it tier straight up. I think it's just a B tier team.
Oh yeah, I agree completely. Team's pretty fine. Like it has good stuff going for it. 5P is a very good assist just because it creates sandwiches.
It doesn't create sandwiches on knockdown or your standard knockdowns. If they back tech, you don't get a sandwich. So if they forward tech, you do get a sandwich, though.
Yeah, which definitely hurts, but it's still a nice thing to have. I mean, just call it out sometimes to create a sandwich too. It's very
just random
nice.
neutral sandwiches work, yeah.
Yeah.
6P is actually it's another one of those cases where the EX thrust game on 6P is good enough to just be notable, kind of like the Mitsuru one. It does a lot of damage on a hit, and on a knockdown, it gives a lot of block stun and enough what's it called? Enough swap time that you can swap without calling cross combo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a 4P is pretty standard. Bigger than it looks.
Yeah.
As for the Mika side, you could do some funny things with because on block the Mika JB charged will just block stun straight into the Orie 6P, and the Orie 6P on block is really plus. So you can do some funny things with that. Even more so that you have enough swap time that you could swap before landing. So if Mika doesn't land, you could swap with the JC while crossing up.
Mm-hmm.
So there's mix-up potential there. Other than that, your standard command grab unblockables are available here. You can do funny resets with this team. The A grab, you could reset with A grab or B grab in a combo where they're still standing into the Orie 4P. I don't know how, it's more of a gimmick than actually a good thing, but it's available and mentionable. JC in the corner with 4P, really good on block or on hit. Anything to add, Lon?
No, not really. I look at this team and I'm like, yeah, that's a solid enough team. I think there's enough going for it to place it in B tier. Both characters.
That's one of those teams I've labbed extensively, so I had a lot to add.
Mm-hmm. Like both characters are beneficial to each other. The team's mostly lacking in lockdown for Orie, but like it's not a huge deal, and I think it does warrant at least like a mid to high tier B placement, probably above Celica and Mai.
That's fine.
Yeah, Command Grab is Unblockable. I think is really pushing it up there, or else I'd probably put it in more like the mid range of B tier, but I think that alone does at least earn it some brownie points.
Actually, the DP safe kind too, because you could do the grab from further away.
It's definitely a very nice thing to have with the team, but everything else is just like, yeah, it's fine, it's solid. I think the Command Grab Unblockable is the only thing like that's super worth noting. Yeah, solid. High B tier placement.
Speaking of unblockables, here's another unblockable setup you can pull off with the Seth Orie team.
Yep.
And this one, I think, I would qualify it as one of the more underexplored teams. Would you say that? I have not seen much people labbing it.
It's definitely very underexplored, and I rated this A tier in the past. I'm kind of gonna go back on that. I think it is B tier for a lot of the same reasons why Mika is B tier.
We're pretty close to the same characters if you think hard enough about it.
Yeah. You trade like the well, first of all, Seth 5P is a lot better than Mika 5P.
It does actually cross up on the back text, so it does reach further.
It's a lot better for that. But the trade-off is you have a significantly worse 4P and a more niche 6P for a lot better 5P. Yeah, I mean, the teams basically, synergistic-wise, are kind of the same, honestly, in terms of what they provide. Like, you know, Seth gets kind of okay assists to help him convert off Setsuna stuff, or his 214 series, and you know, 4P unblockables, and 4P mix too in the quarter can be very, very nasty to have to deal with.
That's a nice solo mix, and it's even better when it's covered by a 4P.
Yeah, that's very good as well. But like, Seth, everything else Seth have is kind of underwhelming outside of the 5P and unblockables. And while Seth does get a nice amount of tools,
it definitely gets the big damage combos off the Orie assists.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, the ones you see the Seth Hyde players do, Orie can do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because Orie and Hyde honestly have about the same assist without the projectile assist. The 5Ps are the same.
Yeah. Minus the chip, of course, too.
Details.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like
just put it on the same tier as Mika.
Like literally right next to each other. While I do think 5P is super valuable for Orie, it's good, like decent lockdown and sandwich. It's just like everything else is just not enough. I don't think Seth provides anything else of note for Orie.
He has a better EX thrust.
That's true, but I don't. That's true, but I don't necessarily think it's that amazing.
So you have to fight over the meter on that team. Who's thrusting?
True.
Who's thrusting on that team?
Unironically, might place it below Mika just because of
that. My
god. I mean, they're close for very similar reasons, honestly. I don't know what to say. It's like I feel like I'm taking a double take with Mika. It's just a bit different. It's like, yeah, they're
like, didn't we just do Mika?
Yeah, I guess Seth is a bit more self-sufficient than Mika thanks to orb stuff. So, or is his hit just being okay for him, or like it's not that huge of a deal? Or is Mika might appreciate it more, but like Mika also has better assist kit. Yeah, I think they're close. They're basically the same tier.
Vatista, solid character, solid assist, no damage. End of story.
Yep.
It used to have damage. I think they nerfed it.
Rip. as a team overall, definitely incredibly strong.
I think it's overrated.
Do you think it's overrated?
Yeah.
What do you
Well, it
say?
depends on how you rate it.
I mean,
I don't think it's S tier
why is that?
because the damage.
Then why is Hilda an S tier?
Because Hilda's dumb. Vatista's not.
I mean, here's my thing. I think it's S tier because besides,
I think it's A tier around where Hyde is.
I literally can't agree
Basically
with
do the
that.
same thing.
I really can't agree with that. I don't think they do the same thing. I think Vatista is like objectively better in almost every way for Orie.
Okay, go ahead and explain.
Yeah, because I mean, 5P is way better lockdown than Hyde 5P. It's not even close. You get so much mix off it compared to Hyde. It just lasts forever. And not only that, but it also is an incredibly good neutral because of how far it goes. You can really like it helps you start pressure from like anywhere on screen. It's a relatively fast assist too. It's like what's it like 15 frames? Bad. Very bad.
18.
18 frames?
Oh, 14.
It's 14. I mean, that's better than I thought. Yeah, it's a fairly fast assist, goes everywhere, does your laundry, does your taxes. Like, it's a perfect assist, I think, for Orie. Lockdown, neutral presence, all the works. 6P is a lot better, I think, than Orbiter.
Hyde's is 13.
Yeah, I mean, it's only one frame slower for something I consider a lot better of an assist, so. Compared to the 5Ps, it's not a question. Vatista is like so much better, like a lot better than like any character's 5P that I have like anywhere on this list. It does so much. 6P is a very good projectile, very active, relatively durable, helps convert off 6P plus 236C. It's very good for that. Yeah, I mean it's a very active projectile too, can help Orie get in super well. And 4P is an incredible anti-air assist. It really helps deter people from like your airspace and preventing you from getting hit in the air. It's something that Hyde literally cannot provide in any way, shape, or form. So like I mean, just comparing Hyde and Vatista, it's just like I don't think it's a question. I really think Vatista is just that much better than Hyde, just because of like better projectile, better lockdown and pressure assist, as well as 5PP or neutral assist, and a way better anti-air assist, which I think is super valuable for Orie. Yeah. The Vatista side, I think too.
I'm not swayed. I just think the lack of damage is enough to push it down.
I don't think it pushes it down that much, honestly. It also doesn't necessarily have that horrible of damage because 5P loops are actually pretty good. If you see Tomo, you can do like at least solid 10k depending on like the hits you get. Like the team's damage output, while on average is bad, I don't think it reaches the.
Now, how's the Vatista side going? Since we already talked about the Orie side, what's the Vatista side doing?
I think it's like pretty fine. It's all right. Vatista is also one of those characters.
Vatista's a very self-sufficient character, yeah.
Yeah, like she's very self-sufficient. She's not like amazing or anything, and of course you actually put her by herself, it's a bit suffering, but like yeah, good projectiles to get in, like 6P 236 or yeah, 6P 236B or A with Batista's kind of very nice neutral, can cover a good amount of space. The projectiles plus assists are pretty good for just controlling space as well. I mean, like Orie's assist is obviously not that great, but like the neutral of the team with Orie's assist is perfectly fine, and 4P is very easy to set up with Vatista, and it can lead to her at least getting some better corner mix and everything. So that's good as well. I think that's where she really struggles. Or not really struggles, but like she really benefit from that. And like she doesn't need an anti-air assist to function because her DP is very, very good at just doing that already. And like I just think Vatista like gets like it's the same vein as Hilda, where it's just like yeah, she doesn't necessarily benefit a huge amount from it, but there is a good amount of stuff there with the other assists just because they help her control neutral lows a little bit. for me to say like, yeah, it's fine. Also, Vatista projectiles are very good at getting Orie in too. And yeah, I mean, I just think the team is very, very good.
I guess I just don't think very highly of Vatista, and that might be the problem here. I don't think Batista's that good as a character, period.
I mean, she's an assist bot nowadays. You play her to
So
be an
she's
assist
definitely
bot.
a god tier assist bot on any team that she's in.
Yeah, and like, I mean, she's not bad. Unlike Liz, who actually is just an assist bot. Like, she's pretty good on point too. Like, she's fine. So like,
Okay, I think that's good enough.
all right.
I still think she could drop, but I also think other characters can go up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely feel like she's Orie's second best team currently. All right. Well, my freaking internet died before we could take the Waldstein, but
Fun! I think Wald was mad.
hmm?
Wald was mad.
Yeah, Wald definitely was mad. He was just like, put me higher on the tier list. But yeah. Before
I think kind of A tier.
yeah, before I my internet died, I was talking about Waldstein a bit, but yeah, I said I would put him in solid A tier. How did you feel about him?
I think he's in the same tier as Mika and the other guy, Seth.
Mika and Seth?
I don't see any way he's higher.
I say he's a lot higher because his assist kit is just genuinely a lot overall better than the two, I think. 6P is a really, really good lockdown assist as well as having a lot of presence in neutral, so that I think helps Orie out quite a bit. 5P is like kind of the same vein as my 5P, but maybe doesn't go at full screen, but it's like a very huge button. It can kind of service as like a pseudo projectile assist just for how big and good it is. And 4P is a nice kind of like pressure assist since it has that nice gap in it with the rock and everything. It's
No.
Hmm?
No anti-air assist?
No anti-air assist, which is fine. I think we've established it's fine for Orie not to have an anti-air assist. It's nice, but like I think you can function without one pretty well. It's just like everything about Wald's assist package is a lot more appealing to me than Mika or Assess.
I think the startup on the 6P kind of hurts him.
Yeah, I mean it does, but
Because I've seen a Wald without the startup. I don't know if you have.
oh yeah, back in the day.
That's when he was actually a good assist bot character.
I still think he's relatively strong. Maybe not as good as like Vatista or Liz, or especially not Adachi. But I still think he's good. I don't know. I just feel like his assists like do like a lot for Orie. I think those are good.
I think it's still a good team. I don't know if it's A tier. That's where I'm at. I don't know if it's fitting into A tier. Like it's either high tier B tier or low tier A tier for me, and I don't know if it's A tier.
I don't know. Just for me, looking at the other characters in the tier, I think Wald does provide strong enough assist package to put it on like the higher end of teams for sure. And Wald himself gets stuff like nice and blockable setups off it. 4P is like really nice, I think, for Waldstein just to get his like kind of like grab mix up game going. Wald is for the most part like an okay, decently self sufficient character, especially when you compared to Liz. Just because he has like Izanago, 236A, like relatively big buttons to kind of control space. Like you can't really move a lot to be fair, but like I think his buttons are big enough for he can hold his own. As well as like 236A plus like 5P or 6P, I think sounds like alright neutral. Yeah, I mean, I just think the team is like solid enough that I think go to A tier, especially considering some of the characters I'm seeing in B tier.
If you remember my old tier list, I had Wald in C tier right now. I have never been a believer in the Wald team.
Mm-hmm.
That's been a long-standing thing. So you can kind of ignore me. I might just be a hater, but I think it's B tier.
I think I'll compromise. We can put him in like the top of B tier. If that works.
I think S might actually be too high.
Yeah, the more I look at S, the more I'm just like,
We'll deal with that later. We'll deal with that later. But S might be too high.
Yeah. All right, the final uni character. Yuzu, not the final uni character. Or Yuzu.
Messing around with this team, I think it's a lot better than I thought. Like my first tier list, I have it right here. I have it in the bottom of the bottom. I don't think it's that bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some tech there. It's definitely an underexplored team. Yuzu side stuff. She could definitely do some nasty stuff with the 4.
I see.
Like combining Azrael's dashing with an actual decent high-low, having some fuzzy options too. This team can do things. It's not even that bad for Orie, honestly. The 6P is not a bad hit scan kind of assist. It used to be faster. It's slow now. It's fine. The 5P, standard 5P, 4P, kind of bad, but it's a 4P. Oh, what do you think, Juan?
I feel very middling about this team. I think Yuzu assists are like functional for Orie. Definitely lacking in the lockdown territory. 6P is alright. 4P is also okay, but like not really what she wants. Like in terms of what Yuzu gives to Orie, I'm just like very underwhelmed by it.
Yuzu's just underwhelming, right?
Yeah, like it's just don't really see anything too good there. And the Yuzu side of the thing, I feel the same way. Like there's some nasty stuff I think you can do with Orie's assists, especially 4P. Having like nice high low left right stuff, but I feel like it's a bit too inconsistent because Orie 4P isn't as big as you would like it to be to set stuff up like that. Or
I think Yuzu's hard enough that we need a Yuzu player to do all this stuff, and I'm not a Yuzu player.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just like feel like the team is kind of underwhelming. It's not bad. Like
I think it has potential. It's like one of those teams. Like I think it has potential, but it's definitely not a standout team, and it's definitely not bad.
Yeah, it's not horrible. It's not particularly great either. I'd say C tier.
Yeah, I think C tier is where I would put it too. I don't know where on C tier. Honestly, ordering tier list is hard enough. so I just think just tossing in a C tier mid. C tier is probably fine.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
It's somewhere in there.
All right. Now
okay, my take on Akatsuki. My take on Akatsuki is you put him wherever you put Narukami.
Damn.
And then put him one tier lower. No, not one tier. You put him one spot lower. Because they do about the same thing. At least as an assist spot.
I think as an assist spot, Akatsuki is better off. 5P is a stupid lockdown assist. Just there's no way around it. It's
you guys are addicted to lockdown assists. I'm not that way.
I mean, look.
I don't even think Orie needs lockdown assists, but I've never said that.
I don't know. I mean,
I play Orie with Mai. I don't see it.
I don't think she needs them. I just think she benefits greatly from them. Because like she does need that help to kind of like get.
Okay, but I still stand by the fact that I just think Akatsuki's wherever Narukami is, and then one slot lower. That's usually where I go.
I think.
So I would think he is S tier.
I think Akatsuki just. Here's the thing. As an assist spot, very good for Orie, undeniable. 5P is a godlike assist, 6P is a nice bullet assist, 4P decent for covering the air. Like, he has a really good assist package and helps Orie a lot. The reason why I put this team so much lower is because I don't think Akatsuki gets much from the deal. Akatsuki kind of needs a anti-air assist to really help function properly.
I guess I don't see Akatsuki neutral. I don't know what it's like because I don't really play the character. But I
It's
do think he gets stuff out of the Orie 4P at the very least. Not nearly as much as Narukami, let's be clear here.
yeah,
But he does get stuff out of it.
there's something there, and it's actually pretty decent, I think. But yeah, I just don't think the team is very strong for Akatsuki. Unlike Narukami, where I think it's a very well-rounded double synergistic team. I think this team weighs a bit too heavily in Orie's favor, like a bit too heavily on Orie, and it doesn't provide enough for Akatsuki for me to really put it like any higher than like A tier. Because like
I suppose I could see it. It kind of be similar to Susano'o.
yeah, maybe a bit lower than Susan, just because like I think Susan doesn't.
Because
Suffer
Susan
as
got
much.
funny unblockable. Where's Akatsuki's unblockable? Oh, wait, he has some.
He both have unblockables, and that's another strong aspect of the team. Is the strong aspect of every Akatsuki team is just having access to unblockables.
Oh, yes, and you also get unblockables. The classic Akatsuki unblockables, but you can do them from further away. How useful is that? I don't know, but you can still do it. You can do it with your 2 and 4A
Yeah,
from mid screen. Easy to push block because you're not in the sandwich, but you can do it. You can kind of like, oh, they got 1 HP and they have no meter. Hey, it's there.
I don't even think you get a conversion off that specifically, but it's still an option.
No, you don't get a conversion. It's just 1 hit,
Yeah.
and they fall to the ground. It's for like super fringe cases where you can kill them with no meter.
Yeah. Akatsuki's not really getting much of the deal, like I said. He's kind of a character that can suffer if people jump at him because his anti-air is kind of mediocre. Akatsuki really likes to have like some type of assist to really enable Bitatsu neutral too, and Orie doesn't really provide that. Also, like J214A being like also incredibly good neutral tool. I don't think Orie sets it up as well as she could. Like everything like I see with Akatsuki do with Orie assist, I just think like yeah, it's okay, it's fine, it works.
It's
like
workable.
It's not like he's getting nothing, and like for the couple characters that Akatsuki can fuzzy, 6P is really nice for that. So it's just like yeah, I don't think it's too heavily skewed in Akatsuki's favor to put it in B tier, but I don't think it's as good as some other teams just because I think Akatsuki doesn't get enough. So that's why I would place him like right here, kind of like right next to Hyde.
It kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
I think actually Hyde would be higher.
Yeah, probably Hyde would be higher. I think Hyde suffers less.
And Hyde gets the big damage loose.
Big damage. Alright.
Blake, okay, so Blake, I think, is one of those characters like really fun to think about, all the potential and stuff. And then you do it in practice, and it's like, what? This team is kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, I think I agree overall the team's not that great. I just think that Blake is a really, really good assist spot.
I think like I think in practice it's good. I mean, no. I think in theory it's good. In practice it's not so good.
Yeah, I feel the same way I feel about Blake that I feel about Adachi. Where yeah, I mean, Blake's assists are really good 6Ps, stupidly good for neutral, has good amount of lockdown as well. 5P, I mean, corner steal assist. Need I say more? It's very disgusting, very easy to set off pretty much any Oki situation. That's like a really good assist for setting up mixes. And 4P, very standard kind of like anti-air assist. It's a very solid one. So like when I look at Blake's assist kit, I just think yeah, it's really, really good. Maybe not providing everything already was, but like
Damage.
The damage does not exist.
You definitely don't get damage out of this exchange here.
The damage is not a strong point of the team, but the assists definitely are, and I think that is enough for me to like warrant putting it in like the lower end of B tier, just because like
around where Adachi is sounds about right.
Yeah, because like I mean honestly I don't know much.
It has its things. It has potential. It's really cool to think about all the potential and the mix-ups and all that stuff. And then you do it in practice, and it's not so cool, but it still works.
Yeah, it's definitely a very functional team. at the very least, Orie gets an incredibly good suspension out of it. It's like, yeah, pretty one-sided. I don't think Blake gets anything out of Orie. Blake's also one of those characters. Well, I would.
Blake can do things with the 4P.
Yeah.
Less standard things. Like, she can do funky things. I don't know if it's like good enough to save her from being pretty average, but slightly above average.
Mm-hmm.
But it's better 4P mix-up than your standard 4P mix-up.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it for her. I guess you could do the 5B. The JB plus Orie 6P does have enough block stun to get you some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like, it's one of the things where it's like, in theory it's good, but in practice you're not going to hit it that much.
Mm-hmm.
The team's just like, try it out. It's fun to think about, but when you play it, you're like, eh.
Yeah, maybe a Blake player can come out and say this team is actually OD, but for the most part, I'm just not feeling the Blake side of things. I don't think there's anything there for Blake, at least significantly so.
It might even be lower, honestly.
I feel like Blake's assist kits is too good to place her any lower.
Okay. I say it might be lower.
Yeah.
I think it's borderline between B and C.
Yeah, I can see that. It's definitely on the lower end of stuff.
Like, if we were to have a B plus and B minus, it'd be B minus.
Yeah. Alright.
That's too much work, though. Blitz Tank. Speaking of B, Blitz Tank. S tier. Easy S tier. This team is stupid as hell.
This team...
The only problem with this team is you have to play Blitz Tank.
Yeah, Blitz Tank with an assist kit, that doesn't really help him that much, honestly. And, like... Tank's such a weird character, because depending on the matchup, he can be self-sufficient. In other matchup, it's suffering.
He's actually... This team's actually godlike. The problem, like, I will say it over and over, and I've already said it before, this team would be so good if you didn't have to play Blitz Tank and you had to play someone faster.
Yeah.
Unblockable City. EX thrust on block is checkmate, depending on how much meter you have. It's just a fun time, as long as you're not blocking on Blitz Tank.
Mm-hmm. Like, when you get into that really defensive situation, like, it sucks. Orie
you DP and you pray. You DP and you pray.
Yeah, it's kind of suffering that department. But, like, everything else about the team is genuinely really good.
Orie gets everything. That 4P is the dumbest 4P in the game. The 5P is fine. We've talked enough about 5Ps. You kind of probably guess what it is.
Yeah.
The 6P is actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Low-key kind of good. Anything to add, Lon? Unblockable City, EX Thrust. Oki situation with tank side is dumb as hell.
Yeah.
More unblockables, instant overheads, all that stuff. You block on Blitz Tank, you die.
Yeah. It can be such a polarizing team. Honestly, it really depends if you can keep them away good enough with Blitz Tank zoning, which is harder with some characters. So the team's effectiveness can be very matchup dependent, but honestly, A tier.
Yes. No spice?
What?
No spicy S tier?
No, I don't think it's S tier. It's definitely not S tier.
But it is spicy.
It is very spicy.
Okay, spicy A tier. Understandable. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
It's a good team.
Mm-hmm. It does suffer in the
S tier is I'm joking about the S tier. It's a little too much, but it's getting there. It's a good team.
Mm-hmm.
There's more exploration to be done. There's only a couple Orie Blitz Tank players I know. They're out there, and it's a scary team.
Yeah.
But then you have to play Blitz Tank.
Sometimes that's suffering. But
Now move on to Heart. I know.
Yeah, Heart. I know.
D tier.
I
disagree. No.
Not really. I would probably put her low C.
if you want to compare it to like Aigis, for example, because they're both heavy mix-up characters, Aigis can actually just straight up run her mix the second you get an EX thrust. Heart, I know, not so much. Which is honestly why I think Aigis needs to be a little higher. But that's a discussion for later. Heart can get the funny mix-up, can use the 4P, but Heart's assists... Mon, you want to take it away? Heart's assists.
Yeah, Heart's assists are like very underwhelming. They're not actively bad. 5P is decent lockdown. Not.
It's like on the lower end of standard 5P.
Yeah, definitely. 6P is kind of good to snipe out stuff and just help you cover your neutral. It's really hard to convert off it. It's fine. I think it's definitely better than anything that the D tier currently has. Just because a laser is good, even if it's hard to convert off of. But besides that, yeah, this team is really awkward to have to play.
It's like Aigis team, but you can float around and kind of skip neutral and then do nothing.
Yeah. The thing about Heart is that she's way more self-sufficient than Aigis. She does not need a partner at all. She could just roll her stuff without a partner, which is why I don't want to put her in D tier, because I think she doesn't suffer as heavily from Orie, and Orie still provides nice stuff. Like Orie 4P with Heart mix is just like spooky. Even for neutral, it could be like if you're in the air, it can sometimes help you prevent you from getting air to air sometimes, or at least it like limits your opponent's options. But besides that, besides the 4P being kind of nice and 6P being probably better than everything else, I don't think Heart gets enough from the package. I don't think Orie gets enough from the package. Heart generally likes having something to help her in the air, or at least kind of let her easily get in, and Orie doesn't really do that. But I
think Heart kind of would benefit from a projectile assist, and Orie does not provide that.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Heart gets fuzzies off 6P, which is nice, but it's not a huge deal. I think.
Does Heart really need fuzzies when she can just cancel into another home?
Look, just that just another extra layer to the mix, buddy. But yeah, it's fine. Definitely almost borderline D tier, because Heart kind of gets very little out of Orie, but I don't think it's bad enough to put it in D tier. Maybe even above Gord. These two definitely deserve to be above Gord.
Gord's skirting the edge towards the D.
Yeah. Alright, Neo.
I think Neo would go wherever you want to put Aigis. They do the same thing. You played the team. Go ahead, tell me.
I actively think this is probably as bad as that as Linne. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I feel like Neo.
I guess I'm a little higher on the team than you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to put Aigis a bit higher just because it snowball heavier because it does more damage. Neo doesn't have damage.
Like, Neo can get a bunch of stuff off of the 4P. Like, you want to talk 4P mix-up, the team can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then what?
Yeah, and then
that's the problem with the team.
You just have to really hope that you can set up enough loopable Oki for this to work, because the team's average damage output is really horrible, to say the least. And Neo, like, does not help Orie in the slightest. Like, she does have projectiles.
Those assists are garbage. If you haven't called a Neo assist, go play Neo right now and call some assists.
Yeah, it's...
Go into a match and call Neo assists. See how much they help you.
They don't. I've played this team enough where it's just like, yeah, I'm actively suffering playing with
You don't even have to play Neo Orie. Just go into a match with Neo plus whatever your favorite character is. Call Neo assist and be like, what am I doing?
Yeah, it's suffering. Like, Orie gets quite literally nothing out of it. To be fair, Neo gets a good amount of the package. Like, EX Thrust is actually a really good active swap tool for Neo. And 4P is really strong at bolstering her already good quarter mix-up game and everything. And the team has a lot of neat stuff from Neo's side. It's just that, like, I don't think
I think the best way to sum it up is you get the 4P mix and then what?
Yeah. the team's just damage output is just it's noticeably horrible. It takes so many interactions.
And then what? You have to do it again 4 more times.
Yeah, it's just like if your opponent gets out of the situation, you have to play neutral again, and the neutral with the team, it's like just two characters with like fine neutral games, but they don't really help each other. Both these characters like being in the air for their stuff because I think that's where their best buttons are.
The JA button.
Yeah, but none of them have like airspace control assists.
Okay, top of D tier, C tier, bottom. What? What now? Where?
I feel the same way I feel about this team that I do about Linne, honestly. I think they suffer from the exact same problems. And, like...
The same problem of they get the funny 4P mix and then do nothing with it?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think Linne's neutral's a bit better, actually.
Yeah, she has projectiles, like, actually good projectiles, so I think that's fair enough. I mean, they're basically right next to each other. Yeah, it's a bad team. I don't know how V-Mala makes this team work, but they're just cracked, so... Alright, my internet
Speaking
died.
of low damage...
My internet freaking died again. Ah! Anyways, Ruby. Ruby Rose. Massive. How do you feel about Ruby Rose?
If we're gonna dock characters for low damage, Ruby has some pretty low damage.
Yeah. And to be fair, I'm personally not docking any points for for low damage if the team is good enough, like I did with Vatista and Hilda.
I am docking them.
Yes.
Hilda gets a pass though.
Hilda is stupid. But yeah, how do you actually feel about the team though, besides low damage?
I don't think this team is that good. Like Ruby's really solid. Ruby's very solid alone. Standalone, very solid with Orie assist. Orie gets a fair bit out of the assist kit. The 4P, Ruby's 4P is kind of godlike. The 6P, Ruby's 6P is kind of godlike. The 5P, could be better.
Yeah, nice for corner steal stuff.
But overall, it's just like a solid team. I don't think it's anything standout.
Mm-hmm.
It's a solid, good end tier team.
Mm-hmm.
The damage is on the lower side, but you're playing Ruby and Orie. You might win neutral interactions more often. So that should make up for it. But I don't think it's anything standout. It's definitely not S tier in my mind. It's probably in the A tier.
Yeah, I agree completely. I just think this team is, much like Narukami, is just based on its strength as a team. It's just solid. It's just solid on both sides. Both characters get good tools, what they need. Like, Ruby doesn't need a lot. So 5P and 6P not being projectile assists, it's like, she could use them, but it's not that big of a deal. 6P is good for setting up fuzzies on Ruby's side. I mean, she can set up fuzzy against every character, or have fuzzy against every character, so that's really good. 4P, if you don't want to go for a fuzzy, is really good lockdown. It's something that Ruby can definitely take advantage of. And 5P is okay. It can kind of help bolster her damage, but the team's overall damage is still not going to be good. Yeah, I think it's just solid. I covered everything. Like, there's not a lot.
Middle of the pack A tier team, probably, in my mind.
Yeah, probably like above Hyde or above Akatsuki.
I don't feel very highly on Hyde. I think it's above Hyde.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's it's just super solid. Both characters.
It's just solid tier.
Both characters getting what they want. No one's really complaining about anything. The only thing's lacking is a lockdown assist, but like, you can function without it. And Ruby 236B is a very good active swap point too.
That's your lockdown assist right there.
Yeah, basically. And getting in with Ruby is not hard, so it can be consistently set up. So yeah, solid middle of the road A tier character. Not a lot to say about it.
So I know a lot of people feel very strongly about this team. I have no opinion on this team. It's a solid team. What's your take on?
Yeah, good, solid team. Much like Ruby, I think it's just a team where both characters get a decent amount of what they want.
They both poke you with a rapier, and that's always a plus.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot better than Mitsuru, that's for certain. But on the Orie side of things, Y6P is a very nice striking projectile assist, can help her approach or cover her approaches. Like, it's very good since it tracks. 4P launches pretty far to the air, so it can be nice to cover that airspace. And I mean, 5P, we're a broken record. It's a standard strike assist 5P, not too
Oh,
not too appealing. It just does its job. Like Ruby, it's definitely
when it hits, it gives you plenty of time to get them, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. Something that you can't say about Ruby. um, yeah, it seems just solid. Weiss gets the corner pressure. I think she really likes with 4P. Weiss can really.
She could do some funny 4P glyph setups with Orie 4P and glyphs.
Mm-hmm.
They're there.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, 4P is also pretty nice if you want to play more defensively and set up like ice walls and ice shards in neutral. Not something super appealing, but it is an option that I think it can be strong given the right situation. But mostly just for the mix part, like Weiss really needs lockdown because she's a strong character outside of just getting mix on her own. So if you allow her to just really run her game, she's actually pretty strong. And 6P is very nice for fuzzies. You can get it on a good amount of characters too. So yeah, like I said with Ruby, it's just a solid team where both characters kind of get what they want. It's relatively strong overall. And I mean, Lotad has played this team a lot. I've seen the strength of that. You know, we got Hashimo in Japan playing the team, and I've always been like very impressed about what it can do, despite it being kind of just two solid characters together. But yeah, the team has good synergy, is strong. I think probably
I actually think it goes above 9.
Above 9.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't know if above.
We're arguing small numbers here. It doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, we'll just. I was gonna put it above Ruby, but not above Susano'o. So like.
All right, that works.
Yeah. All right, Yang.
I think this team's fine.
Mm.
It's a little bit of a suffering on the Orie side, but it's fine otherwise.
I think it's in the same vein where I feel about Ragna and Merkava.
I think it's a little higher than that.
Why is that?
The classic unblockable.
Oh yeah, this team does have unblockables.
And it has damage for sure.
Yeah. I guess that would put it at least a little bit above Merkava and Ragna, but still, I don't think Yang's assist kit is particularly that good. It's not horrible or anything. I think it does its job fine enough, but just being kind of janky is not.
It's like, if you like standard 5Ps, congrats, now you have 2 of them.
Pretty much, yeah. And
The 6P's got some nice lockdown, though.
Yeah, it does. It's a bit weird to use, just like how it hits. I wouldn't consider it a consistent enough lockdown assist for me to like call it good, but it's fine. Yang gets 4P from blockables and corner mix stuff. Besides that, I guess 6P plus Firecracker is neutral, but it's not anything particular I was saying. Yang's also one of those characters I think it really appreciates having some form of projectile or at least some good screen coverage, which Orie doesn't provide. And yeah, I feel very underwhelmed about the team, but
Do you think it's high B tier or high C tier or low B tier?
I think it's just middle C tier.
Oh, I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's as bad as Yuzu, for example, or New. I think it's around like a little higher. Maybe you can put it around Akihiko. That's fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. I think it's below Aki though. I think Aki does have the better assist package.
Aki does kind of slap people around.
Yeah, and it's just I think better overall. So
I think there's a pretty big divide in the C tier quality of the C tiers.
Yeah, like
once you get around to New, the power drops off a cliff.
Yeah, I can kind of see that actually. I mean, I think it looks fine as is because like it is ordered, but yeah,
Okay.
I can see that. I mean, we'll deal with this later. I mean, we're one character away. We can start.
Okay, let's get to the elephant in the room.
We don't even have to talk about the tier she's in. Like,
This team is stupid.
God, there are 3 dry S tier characters, and then Naoto.
I have the solution for you: Blitz Tank and the spicy S tier.
Ah, yes, clearly. um, whatever. We'll probably just combine the S tier at the end because there's not enough spice.
I think there should be as much S tiers as there is D tiers. I'm just trying to push my boy up there.
Understand. Well, like I said, we'll have like an end of list discussion, but yeah, Yumi. I mean, is it really that surprising she's up here at all?
I mean, you should have seen this coming. If you've been playing this game for long enough.
It's just like, yeah, Yumi is the best partner for Orie. It's not even close. Well, I will say Vatista, I think, has the better assist package. Yumi is just so much better overall.
Just think Vatista, but like, slightly worse assist, but carries in the damage department.
Yeah. Like, worse 4P for air control, but it's still good. Decent air control assist. Very nice, pretty big. 5P, stupidly good not lockdown. Really good for allowing Orie to get some quarter or like any mix going from anywhere pretty much. 6P, I mean, that's just a stupid assist. So active, decent lockdown.
You can even get some resets off it if you're feeling cheeky.
Yeah, it's restands. Like, it's stupidly good for Orie. It does like almost Yumi does almost everything Orie wants, as well as like having the highest average damage of any Orie team. You literally hit any button with Yumi and go into like a CC loop. That's like 10k. So like Yumi really makes up for her slightly worse assist kit by just completely murdering people.
That's right. And you can't forget about unburstable stuff.
Yup.
It's there in spades. Yumi just does that.
Yup. And like Yumi doesn't necessarily like love Orie's assist kit, but like she's a relatively fine character overall.
She's a pretty self-sufficient character. Can utilize Orie's assists. 6P not so much. 5P's you're pretty fine with the 5P. It's a standard 5P with a bunch of hits. 4P, you can do funny stuff with a 4P. Mm-hmm. Such as 4P DP.
4PVT. Coming soon, TM. Yeah. Yumi's projectiles can go nicely with 6P. Helps Orie get in as well, covering ground space. 4P is good for lockdown in the corner. Stupid. You
can even be like just doing a safe jump with the Yumi with Orie 4P behind you. Whoops! I used JC. Now the corner's mine, and you're getting hit by the 4P at the same time.
Yeah, it's a bit dumb. it's just everything Orie wants basically,
and then no one plays it.
Yep. We all hate this team for some reason, even though we all consider it like her best one by far.
An accurate tier list, I think, might actually just have Yumi be alone in the S tier.
Unironically, yeah, but I don't think it's warranted. I don't. Well, it is warranted, I should say, but I kind of don't want to do that.
That's the most accurate list, though. Just putting that out there.
Yeah. All right. That is the list kind of created for this first time. I'm just going to make this one S tier. All right. So tier movements. Which ones do you want to talk about?
We'll start from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tiger, fine. Hazama's fine. Az might need to move a little bit up in the D tier. I think his damage is just enough to carry him there.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Linne, fine, I guess. Neo's fine. Makoto might want to lower Makoto. I don't know.
At least below Az.
Okay, Gordo, I think would be the minimum for C tier, and he's there. Hard, I guess. I think needs to be like a tier higher, like a whole tier.
Like B tier higher.
Yeah, like that team snowballs so hard if it does land a hit. It's just getting the hits the problem.
Yeah, I think my problem with putting it in B tier is just finding that one hit is too hard. I guess really needs like
I guess shits damage and then loops into more Oki.
yeah. I'd be willing to place her higher, like this much higher. I don't think she deserves a B tier just because the neutral game is really bad and like
Okay, how about moving her into the C plus tier with the rest of the C pluses?
Where's the C plus?
The new drop off.
New. I would be willing to put her below new, but not.
Oh, you're gonna keep her in the same tier as new? Oh my god!
Yeah.
You know, in the old tier list, she's in A tier, right?
Look, the old tier list doesn't matter. It's whack. What does new get out of it? Nothing.
No, I'm talking about I guess being an A tier in the old tier list. New gets nothing. That's what I mean.
Look,
I just dropped new below I guess.
Give
me that the C plus tier for I guess.
No, I genuinely just think the neutral game is too bad for me to put her any higher. At least new has neutral. It's just not super great. Like the team is suffering too much in that regard.
All right, fine. But if you get the hit though, and you only need to EX thrust once to get the hit on block, and then they're dead.
This is getting there. That sucks.
Yeah, you just have to hit them with EX thrust on block, and then you're there.
You know what? Just because of EX thrust, we'll put them above. Oh, fine.
EX thrust mix up, a swap, then you're in. You get the mix. You start looping your Oki, and they're dead.
Okay, fine. You've convinced me. EX thrust is enough, just because EX thrust isn't that hard to set up. But like,
you don't even need an assist to call. You just EX thrust them on block, call an assist, and they're getting mixed.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Good enough. So we'll add a like asterisk that the team neutral is still horrible.
It's suffering. Yes.
And that
Carmine might be too high. But Carmine's solid, but is he solid enough that his team is just not existing and he's still there?
I don't know.
I don't think the Carmine team exists. There's no team. There's no synergy in that team.
I don't think it's.
I'm pretty low on that team.
I don't think it's that bad. I might put him below Yang. I do think there is like very lack of game plan outside of just play neutral, but you know the neutral kind of nice with the team.
Okay. Everything else looks fine in the C tier. B tier, I'm gonna fight you on Chie, but you knew that.
All right, let's fight about Chie.
A little higher in the B tier.
A little higher.
Yeah, like compared to Naoto, where all you have is 4P and occasionally 6P mixes, Chie, it has more of a game plan, and if you get the hit, you get the hit big.
Yeah, I guess, but like, I don't know. I
don't think it's bottom of B tier.
I will give it. It's probably better than Adachi at the very least. Adachi.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Like same.
Like I wasn't trying to move it too high. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
Blake might want to go lower than Adachi.
Yeah.
Sure. That's not too hard to argue.
Yeah.
Teddie's fine. Rachel, I think Rachel could go a little either lower or higher. I honestly don't know.
So what you're saying is we should keep her there?
Yeah, it's fine. Celica, Mai, all fine. I don't know. Do you think Mai should go higher? You're the one who was higher on Mai. Do you think Mai should go higher than them?
No, I think she's fine.
Yeah, okay. Mitsuru. I think Liz is lower. Like, I get her assists are really good, but it's hard playing Liz.
Her assist package is so good. It's just too good for me not to place her. Like,
I think she's on the same tier as S, and I don't know if that's a matter of I know S is lower. I think she's on the same tier as S.
Okay, you want to put? I'm definitely fine with moving S down to B. Not too far down. I think she's definitely better than Mitsuru, just because she has a better assist package.
Okay, hear me out. Swap Liz and S, and I think I'll be fine.
Okay,
there we go.
That's perfectly fine with me.
Okay, Blitztank and Yukiko in that spot is fine. They're both the gimmicks.
Yes, the gimmicks that somehow work.
Katsuki would be fine. Fine. And okay, now this one. Moving the top 3 A's into S. I just think they're so much better than the other A tiers.
I can give it to you for Narukami, but I can't agree with it with Izayoi or Jubei.
Okay, how about... Are you sure about Jubei? That team is dumb as hell.
I don't know. I just feel like the team is lacking for Orie's side compared to the other characters I have in S tier. Like, the 6P is good.
All you need is the 6P, and the 5P is as good as the Hilda, at least. That thing has a lot of lockdown. And the 4P is pretty average. And then you have your bongo swaps, and you skip neutral. Any problem Orie had with neutral, you're solving that with Jubei.
I mean,
Jubei just doesn't play neutral.
I mean, like,
he gets you with the bongo, and then calls an assist, and now you're playing his game. And Orie at 4P is not push blockable.
Yeah, but like I said, I feel like that's leaning too heavily in Jubei's side. I feel like these top S tier teams are a lot more balanced overall, because I feel like Orie isn't getting enough from Jubei, honestly.
Okay, on the note that they are not Orie centric, I guess I'll give you that. The Narukami one's just double sided.
Yeah, I think Narukami can go into S tier.
I think 5 into S tier is fine.
Yeah. It's the same thing with Izayoi that I feel about Jubei. Is just like, it's a better, I think, overall for Orie, but like I think they still kind of suffer from it's maybe a little bit too point character centric, and Orie doesn't get like enough from it.
They don't get me wrong, they do get something.
Yeah,
but they're not like Orie centric.
Yeah,
but like unlike some of the stronger Orie support teams in the lower tiers, these teams do give Orie something. They give like the Jubei ball is, you cannot underestimate that thing. That thing just stays on the screen until it's gone. It either falls off the screen the other side or it hits you on block.
Mm-hmm.
And it stays a long time, and you have to respect it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second you do get hit by it, Orie hits you and knocks you down, and then loops you into the Jubei Oki, and then you swap to Jubei and you get the bongo Oki, and good luck blocking the bongo Oki.
Yeah, this is a very strong Jubei team, undeniably. So, like, top of 8 tier, like, top 10, I think I'm placing him. Yeah, I think that's agreeable.
Okay, from the perspective of top 10, you have your top 10 right here. Do you agree with your top 10 here? It ends at Susano'o as number 10. Or do you think some of the lower A tiers need to move up?
I think Susan is better than Weiss.
Does 9 actually need to be there? Is 9 too high?
I think 9's just fine. Honestly.
It's just 9 running our game.
Yeah, maybe. I think that's a bit more accurate.
Because 9 is just running our game, but so was Jubei.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets dock points for that. How about 9?
I mean, why not just put them together?
Well, why not play Jubei 9? Yeah. Oh, wait, that's a team!
Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah, this top 10 for me looks super. Let me look for if I would place. Yeah, those two are kind of the same. Hyde.
Any movements you want to make? I already went through. I like the balanced distribution of the teams. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I think we could split the C tier, but who cares? Like the C tier, the power discrepancy between Carmine and Nu is pretty huge.
Yeah. I think it's fine.
Just the asterisk, for anyone who actually watched the whole video, the C tier, the power gap between the C tier is pretty big.
Yeah. Like, I think Yuzu was a lot worse than Nu, but I don't want to split up the tier just for that. Looks nicer. Oh, All right. Any last minute changes you want to make?
Yeah, put Tiger in S tier.
Yeah, of course. S tier.
There we go.
But yeah, that has been the makings of the Orie Synergy tier list. Hope everyone enjoyed this. I think it was like 4 hours long. Just about. I mean, I took a couple breaks here and there.
Yeah, thanks, internet. Internet breaks.
Yeah, internet breaks. Maybe like 3 hours, 45 minutes.
Are you going to split this up into multiple videos or just drop it all at once?
I'm probably gonna edit them all together.
All right.
Yeah, drop into one big video. I mean, that would probably be better.
Timestamps.
Yeah,
And are you gonna edit in post? Be like, oh yeah, Jin, he was in B tier. Not anymore.
Look, if I actually change my mind about it,
Uh-oh.
probably not, because this is made by 2 people. But I will put notes in case my personal opinion changes. Our opinions on a lot of teams, like, there's some disagreements, like
I don't value lockdown as much, which is also why I put Vatista a little lower. But whatever.
Yeah, like, I don't think we disagree too heavily on anything.
No, it's definitely pretty cut and dry. You know what Orie wants.
Yeah, like, I mean, Orie's not a very, like, complicated character to kind of evaluate, like, what she wants. It's pretty, yeah, like you said, cut and dry.
That was why we need to split the S tier again.
God.
Spicy and dry.
Spicy.
Narukami is also spicy, just saying.
Yeah.
Since he didn't get to S tier before Spicy and Dry got broken apart.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to make one more last change. Not to a bit higher than Hilda, just because she has IKs.
I didn't even know if Hilda's S tier, but I'll go with that for now.
Hold on a second. Is Hilda
I don't know. I don't know if Hilda is just too carried by the fact that she's Hilda.
I don't know if I actually... I think S tier is fair, but maybe Narukami's a bit better, or maybe Narukami's a bit... This is a real thought moment for whether or not it's top 4 or top 5.
And that's the next episode of the podcast where you bring another Orie player in and they say, no, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And they modify your tier list.
God damn.
Tomo comes in here and says, no.
I want to say Narukami is a bit better overall.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll go with that. Still, I think S tier, but maybe not nearly as good as Narukami.
I'm a huge fan of the Narukami Orie team.
Yeah. It's definitely incredibly strong, undeniably. Alright. For the last time, hopefully.
And then here is your screenshot for the thumbnail.
Oh, hell yeah, baby. No, the screenshot for the thumbnail is Taylor in the topmost tier. And then, like...
And then big question marks.
Yeah.
And red exclamation marks.
Some clickbait. I don't know how to actually make thumbnails. I'm horrible at them, but we'll find something out whenever.
This is your thumbnail right here. Just post it to your list as the thumbnail. So people don't have to actually watch the video.
So true. Yeah. I think that should be it for today.
Yep.
Yep. Thank you, everyone, for watching the Longcast Episode 1, Former Day Episode 2. Thank you to my guest Masive for not only suggesting the entire idea for the podcast, and like he's just like, what did you tell me? It's just like, you should just make a podcast, and I was like, yo, cool.
Just you don't need to actually write a whole big document. You just need to have a big video instead. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, thank you for him for not only spending about like 4 hours with me, but also giving me this idea.
I've done worse in Genshin.
We both have done worse in Genshin. A lot worse.
Oh god.
We don't talk about it. Yeah. In the future, gonna hopefully get more players in general. I don't want to just limit it to Orie stuff. I know, like, episode 0 is talking about, mostly focusing on Orie, and Orie...
It's just a way to get started.
Yeah, it's definitely just a good way to get started. Like, Orie is definitely my specialty, so expect more episodes about that. But in the future, hopefully I can talk more about other characters or just other things. I don't even know if I want to just keep it to BB tag stuff for now, but We'll see. If I get any ideas, I'll make sure to talk them out with some people. But yeah.
Next up on the Lawncast, the Orie matchup chart.
Oh boy.
Featuring I don't know who, not me.
You're a great guess. I don't know if I want to repeat guess though.
Oh no! I've been fired.
Oh no. Yeah, we'll see what I do in the future. But yeah, like I said, look forward to more episodes. I want to definitely work on this project. But for now, peace out.
Ciao.